The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
Some roads you shouldn't go down, because maps used to say there'd be dragons here. Now they don't. But that don't mean the dragons aren't there.
I'm talking, of course, about Man-Bear-Pig. It is a creature which roams the earth alone. It is half man, half bear, and half pig. Some people say that Man-Bear-Pig isn't real. Well, I'm here to tell you now, Man-Bear-Pig is very real, and he most certainly exists. I'm Cereal. And someday, when the world is rid of Man-Bear-Pig, everyone will say, "Thank you, Al Gore. You're super awesome." The end.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gore.
Thank you, class. Excelsior!
Information's out there. All you have to do is let it in.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the Fair Use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. I say, moo.
met a man who said that he accidentally glued his hand to his own autobiography. I don't know. I don't believe him, but it's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. Wow, we made it again. Friday night. Whoop, whoop. We're on the right side of the grass. Thank you all for showing up. I know we have nowhere else to go. At least I don't. And so once again, what a wonderful gathering. And where's my thing here? Let's turn this camera on so I can be seen.
Clickety click.
There it is. Hey, everyone. I'm wearing my matching Chaput shirt and an upside down pillow tonight. And I've got my wonderful partners in YouTube land. That would be Jen.
Jen, to you.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, guys. What's up? Thanks for having me.
Right? Oh, it's wonderful. And, you know, it's not getting the band back together unless we include the infamous shampoo.
Where's the shampoo?
There he is, right there. Thank you very much.
Where's the shampoo?
So happy to be with you guys.
Isn't it fun? Yeah. And here's the thing. I was just talking to Jen. Hi, everybody, by the way. So
Hey, everyone.
glad you're all making it, and people are rolling in the room. So we're still not late quite yet. Don't worry. And I was talking to them earlier before we started because Jen put a show up on her channel, which everyone make sure you sub and bell. She put the link in there because, you know, YouTube keeps taking her channel down.
Yeah, you guys watch my live streams. Am I doing anything wrong or talking about anything wrong? I mean, you guys were there with me. Hello.
And so she puts a show up, and I have to admit, I do so many of these over the last however many years this has been. We talk about so many subjects. Half this stuff I don't even remember we talked about. And sure enough, here's a show, and it's myself, it's Jen, Chaput, and Steve is there. And it was funny because I was walking past the room. I just have it on in the background, and I hear his voice. I'm like, is that Steve? And I ran in there, and so what is it that I'm discussing at that moment when I walked in? Someone had made a comment about the division happening. Sound familiar? And the division was about me leaving that flat earth group that I left just because they don't think the way I do.
Right.
And I was saying out loud, I was like, I believe we're living in the short season of Satan. And here was 2 years ago, we were discussing these subjects.
Yeah, two and a half years ago.
Even before that, I remember discussing with you and Steve about some of the stuff that we went over. So, we've been doing this a while about this. And suddenly now what happened? Little did I know that guy 2 years ago was going to get in trouble again with now. So Jen's got all the Mel people mad at her and showed Shabu because they dare talk about, possibly God's judgment, even though they have no idea what caused it. They just don't look there. It's
just
like
stick to the evidence. We don't have any answers for you, but don't look at that book over there either.
Right, the flat earth people, same thing. Oh, this is the end. Well, why is it that? Oh, don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. So I get in trouble with the Christians because I'm talking that we're past, millennial reign and we're in short though. So anyways, hey, it is what it is. If we're not doing it right, then we're not going to get in trouble. I mean, Jesus says it way better than that, but
right.
But what do they say? That means we're over the target.
That's very true.
True. It's been a bumpy ride, but it's been a fun ride, I gotta say.
And like you were saying earlier, a lot of these larger channels are now start talking about they've been talking about it in some ways too, but they're just now looking at like the melt evidence and stuff that we've been going over forever. And shows like, well, JT follows JC that I did a show with, and then Alpha Talks, he just, like you were saying, did a show together. They've got some really good. Yeah,
they're bringing in the melt, and they're seeing how it fits into this short season, and they're starting to, wrap their heads around this whole thing and where we're at in the timeline and how the melt fits into all this. And in the process of making it make sense, you come upon all these puzzle pieces, and you see how they fit right in. You cannot deny it, and I don't see how others can't see it, but it is what it is.
Those that have eyes to see,
Yeah, exactly.
True. Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, and they agree. So,
yeah, haters are gonna hate. That's all they do. That's what their job is, and we just gotta let it bounce off.
Oh yeah. Well, like we were discussing, I mean, we've been doing YouTube videos forever, live streams and stuff forever. It seemed. I mean, that was the other thing I was telling Jen. Jeannie's or my wife was watching a show. And she put it on the screen here to show me, and it was me. I was a Brian Stavely video from 4 years ago, and it was him, Mac, and me. So it's like, long time. And we've taken slings and arrows, and hey, we're just gonna keep going along the path that we were given. And the people want to show up, come along, and if not, then they move on to the next town, or we do.
Yeah.
So. And now the newest push is, for the people that don't want to believe in Jesus being our savior, they keep coming up with these other saviors, like these actors and stuff. And the newest one, I think, is what's his name, Terrence or something. And I keep hearing, like suddenly he's now going to tell you the truth and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's figured it all out. He's been working on it since he was 8 years old, and he's got it all figured out. Yeah.
Many people talk. I talked about the same thing on many shows, and when somebody like a known figure just talk about it like now it's a thing, it's always been there.
It's that controlled opposition. He's going to take you so far and stop you. It's like everyone else. So we push on through. But then, in addition to that, I have to talk about the clown show that's going on right now. It's probably the most. Whoops! I hit the wrong button. See how that works? It's probably the most fun you'll have right now. Center stage is, of course, the Trump trial, right?
But you can be a felon. You can have a felony and run for president.
Well, here's the beautiful thing about this, okay? Because it's all a stage, obviously. And nobody ever goes to jail. They never put anybody. I mean, he kept saying he'd get Hillary put away. Nothing happened. And
still running around.
Right. And Biden had all kinds of issues. And heck, you can go all the way back to Clinton, and he got impeached. Didn't mean anything,
He never inhaled, and he never touched that girl.
Right. But even so, he gets impeached. He's still president. And then he got going farther back, got Nixon. He got, what did they pardon him? Nobody goes to jail.
Yeah.
Nobody ever goes to jail, just so you know. There's nobody going to Gitmo. They're not arresting themselves. The whole Q thing is just another way to just control you. Okay. And I should know. I came out of this. I came out of the Trump people and the Q people and went, holy crap, that is just a complete trap. they're still sitting there waiting with popcorn that's probably stale at this point.
Yes.
Nothing ever happens. They're still talking about the same shit they were, I think, whatever it was, like 7 years ago.
Trust the plan. Any day now.
Any day.
Another couple of months, you'll see.
Yeah, it's all for me. It's nothing as nothing like a real trial. Everything that you see on TV or everything, it's just a show. It was a big show, probably paid for from him.
Oh, 100%. And
it's coming. So.
And the funny thing is so here's the play that's going on right now. So he gets convicted of 34. I said to Gene, I'm like, why not 33? But in any case, we'll go with 34. Mm-hmm. So he gets convicted of 34 things about this hush money trial, which, first of all, pretty much everyone in politics is paid hush money. I mean, it's just the way that works. So he gets caught on this one. Why? Because now, first of all, it doesn't make him a convicted felon. He pushes it out. They say it'll be pushed out at least till after the election, right? So what does that mean? That means he can keep campaigning. Yeah, see, they're going to push it out past November 5th election. So he's going to keep campaigning. And now, in the meantime, he's free to speak to the press, travel, and continue his campaign. He was no longer bound by the gag order, so he can discuss the witnesses, the jurors, the judges' family members, okay?
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, okay, so what are the Class E felonies? He could get 4 years on each one of these trumped up charges, right? You like the Trump is
trumped up. I like what you did there.
Right. Okay. So, but the thing is they said it most likely will fines and restitution and probation, because they said the factors is his age, but he's okay being president, of course, and his lack of prior criminal record. He's really powerful and has less money.
Wow.
So most likely, all these articles say he's not going to go to jail, and whatever money he's going to have to pay. So here's what he's doing right now. You can't go on any social media. I mean, I go on them because of this show. I look for things. You can't go on Twitter or any of these ones without seeing somebody saying, even Laura Trump said, like, okay, if you love American freedom, you need to send money to help us with this whatever campaign to get him elected. So they're getting more money from people. You know what I mean? It's nuts. And in addition to that, he's going to go play the woe is me card. They're all out to get me. He's part of the people bringing on the evil cabal, trust the plan. And it's such theater. It's
all the world's the stage. Stages are flat.
Much as we thought the Hillary and Trump craziness happened.
I mean, nobody can arrest Hillary. I'm like, gosh, give me some handcuffs. I'll go arrest her myself.
Yeah. You can find her at any Barnes and Noble for a while there. You can find her anywhere.
Yeah,
but that one was crazy. But this one I think is going to be even crazier, because now you've got the people that hate him will say he's a convicted felon, he shouldn't be president, and the people that love him will say, look what they tried to do to take him down, because he's going to take down the evil cabal. Meanwhile, he flies the same freaking island and goes to all their parties. But somehow they separate that out and say he's in there helping us.
Yeah, so, just to create discord, between two people.
Discord, and also to keep people hooked into the thought that they're actually doing something to help this situation, or some justice is going to come out of it.
Yeah, they got them screaming and fighting in the streets, and they're begging for money for them, and it's
ridiculous.
So
they're probably all crisis actors too, I mean, right. Whether they're real or not, we don't even know anymore what's real.
Yeah, probably paid all by.
I think if it comes over these screens, it's fake. That's basically what you have to think.
It's a new publicity campaign, It's the best way to be on TV. Free. You just got to pay all these people.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and the thing I saw today on TV, it's there's a Trump Street in Ottawa, and now people don't want it anymore, because it got the name Trump since, it just make people hate things that they shouldn't.
What team are you? Red team, blue team?
Exactly. And Johnny asked a good question here. What else is going on while everyone's being distracted? And I think that's an important point. I think people are being distracted into all of this drama, which is basically negative and gets you in the mindset of hating or loving one side or the other, when you should actually just be like ignoring all this stuff and getting your oil lamps ready and being right with God and getting your your internals organized with your spirit, and not externalizing all this bullshit.
Yeah. And so they want us to fight over everything, like we just discussed in the beginning. The truth channels are all fighting with each other about what season we're in and whatever. And then so like this came up to my feed, and this gal, this is interesting. And by the way, to everybody that's like, I only want to be on YouTube and I don't want to go to Rumble or any of these other places, the video that we did, or the live show we did last Friday, I had 2 videos, and each of them are maybe like, I don't know, 15. Well, one of them was a little bit longer. It was that Gaza one, which I knew would probably be a problem. I had to edit them out, and I had to edit that other one out where the guy was like saying, "Come on down and fight me," because I get strikes on them, and I have to edit them out to keep it up. And so we're constantly in a battle, and that's why I barely play some of these things, or I'll just talk over.
Yeah.
And so this gal, she sees this story, and this gal on the TikTok video, whatever she's watching, her boyfriend said he was going to go golfing and he'd be home by 3, and he wasn't, and he didn't call right away. And so she's complaining. And so what this gal noticed was when she looked at the comment section on her phone, this gal that's talking, it was saying things like, "Did he communicate with you? If not, it's a red flag. He's replaceable. I don't like him." Everything was negative guy, positive girl. And then her husband came home, this gal's husband, and he went and looked at it on his phone. And look, it's the exact opposite. Everything was for the guy. What? Could you get your own hobby instead of waiting around for him? I was in the group in front of him. Sorry, we're so keeping. God forbid he has a good time. He meant, so it was all positive husband, negative wife. In the same house, the same video, 2 different phones. Why? Because his phone knows it's him, and her phone knows it's her.
So it's creating your own personal virtual reality.
Exactly.
You perceive.
And division.
And division and discord. Yes. So it's willfully creating division and discord while giving you an alternate perception, deception of your reality.
Yeah, and personally, also, because it happens to me a couple of years before all these smartphones, the only phone with text.
Yeah.
And I used to text my friend, and she sent me, "Why did you text me that?" Well, because that's what. And I sent her a screenshot of the text. And then she sent me the text she received. It's not even the same thing.
That's
it was changed, but with things that matches what we were talking about. Is so crazy.
That's
things that trying to create like conflicts with people,
Yeah. All right. Who's talking? Which cat? It's not
mine. There she is.
Looking at you again. That's funny.
Oh.
So yeah, that's really interesting. That and the other thing about these phones is, we've been talking forever, like they watch you and listen and all that, and yet you're called, out there when you say that. However, for instance, there was we were watching one of our grandkids, and he was laying on the couch sleeping. And one of my dogs was sleeping, not touching heads, but very close, also on the couch sleeping. And it was cute. And I took a picture of the 2 of them. And then I went to adjust like the what do you call it? The lighting and stuff you can do on a photo to make it a little bit more.
Like brightness and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a little dog with like sparkles or something on it.
What?
So I said, okay. I clicked on that little button that showed up, and it told me what type of dog was on the couch.
Okay.
So AI is using these cameras and seeing everything we see. I know we've covered it on some of these news stories, but here it is right in my own house. So, and I know.
Now, you guys have iPhones or something? Because I have not had that on my Android.
Yeah, I have an iPhone.
Okay, what about
you? iPhone does that.
Yeah. I guarantee you, though, they're using your camera on the.
Yeah, I'm just saying I haven't had like different these kind of anomalies really happen.
No, it's a feature now that you can click on everything on the picture, and it will tell you what it is, or what's a plant or dog, kind of a animal. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's wild. So, all right. So let's get out of that.
Because they sell you these phones with all these not authorities, but all these things open. You know, you need to close them and shut them down so they cannot access everything that's in your phone. But if you don't do it, if you don't know it, it's all open for them when you get it. You know,
Yeah.
so.
And when we went through those few years of nonsense a few years back where they were like trying to tell people to stay in their houses and stuff, there was this local hardware store I went to, and I started spouting he brought up something, of course, and I started spouting my theories and stuff. And he was kind of laughing like, oh, okay, that's kind of wild theories, whatever. And then I went back there. It was, I don't know, maybe a few weeks later. And he called me over real quiet. He's like, I got to talk to you. And he showed me that he had been on the days that they were saying, and try not to go anywhere unless you're like, what was it? What do they call those people?
Essential.
Yeah, essential workers. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Where's my guy? I still have him here somewhere. Essential workers.
Bullshit.
The only ones that were allowed to go out. And so he says, look at this. He got an email from Google because he has an Android. And it said, hey, we noticed you went to this place, this place, this place, and this place this week. You've been doing a lot of traveling or something like that.
What?
It was like, yeah. And so suddenly he was on board with me. The next few times I went there, he was sending me things like, check this out and stuff. So, it just takes one personal thing to get people on board with what we're talking about. So.
Exactly. These big companies, they try something, they get caught, they just pay the fine, and but they all gathered this information, just like back then. What was called the Xbox? Was it Move or something that you plugged in and it could record all your movement in your house to play the games, without remotes. But they got caught because they were recording everything in the house and even infrared through the walls.
Oh, boy.
They could see everything in every houses everywhere. They got caught and they stopped making them, but after like 2-3 years that it's been on the market or more, so
yeah,
that's that short attention deficit disorder that people have. A couple years go by, they just throw it back in there, nobody will notice, they'll forget. They rerun stories all the time.
Well, it's like I even played a little clip. A little clip that someone made where it said years ago people would say, I think that the government's listening, or people are listening to me, and you'd sound crazy. And now we go up to Alexa and go, Alexa. It's the guy. It's like they did the same thing. Was it DARPA that became Facebook? I mean, they take all these government programs and they make them free, or they make them exciting for people to use.
Yeah, you were like considered crazy 20 years ago if you said, "Hey, they're listening through my phone or something."
Yeah, meanwhile, your phone sends you ads and things depending on what you're talking about. Sometimes, like I said, we were talking about it. My phone wasn't even with me, and I got the ad for it. So I don't know. We're already connected to the Matrix. I don't know how.
I just want to bring something up real quick. Melanie just showed up. She's 28 minutes late, or at least 26 when I saw it.
All right. Well, Melanie and anybody else that is sneaking in.
I don't feel dirty.
She was getting me some more glue. That's why she's late.
That why? Well, I don't even know where her drop is. It's always her fault.
Melanie, it's all your fault.
Okay. Oh shit! I forget this one on your intro, Shapu. I'm supposed to play this
from France.
I keep forgetting
the first one.
Yeah. I had all kinds of new ones I made. Did you see this one?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
See, that's the thing. I was watching this thing about Gen. I guess I'm a Gen X, and we had basically very little supervision from the boomers. They just like go outside and come back when it's dark. And they didn't know where we were, and so this person was saying, I don't know if I can even play it. I'll try. They were saying like, the ones that survived, that's who we are. Like,
we didn't end up in the back of a car somewhere.
Yeah. And then the millennials that came about, they were told not to do all the things we did. So, We're kind of hardcore, these Gen
Now
X.
you don't see kids out anywhere. It's creepy when you go through neighborhoods. It's like, where is everybody?
Here, let's see if this will work. I'll try this. Let's see. I think it's this one. Let's see. Turn that up.
I think we can all agree that if we're generalizing, Gen X is the worst generation.
Okay, if this is happening, if Gen Z is picking a fight with Gen X in the same way that millennials picked fights with boomers, you need to be prepared. Just to give my credentials,
Do you like this already? And I have to stop it to make sure.
Shit, we survived. You would not even believe.
Yeah, wait. And he's on the cusp. He's just almost a millennial.
I'm a cusp millennial, right? I'm one of the first ones, right? Meaning I have a lot of exposure to Gen X. My older brother is Gen X. He is firmly Gen X. And he's the stereotype of Gen X, obviously, is that they don't care. They do not care. Right. And I think on the surface level, you think, okay, well, that's going to be easy. Then no, there was almost no visual record of Gen X when they were younger. Meaning they could do whatever they wanted and not have to worry ever about a video resurfacing as they got older. You combine that.
Right. Is that true?
Very true.
Yeah, that's very true. There's very little video. When I think back of the pictures, other than like the ones my mom took, the school pictures that we had to take, most of the photos, they're very sporadic of us, because nobody was running around taking pictures. And if you did, you had to get it developed. And then,
If you find an old photo from the 80s or some Polaroid, you got to like scan it to your computer and it looks like crap anyway. Stuff. And everybody's hair is like out to here.
Right. And Jamie wants to know, if you're 47, I don't know your group, you're probably on the cusp, but you're probably a Gen X, I would think. I don't know what the numbers are. Somebody in the chat will know.
With the fact that most of their parents are older boomers who gave them very little parental supervision, and that is a dangerous combination. The direct result of that is that the Gen X that you're seeing today are the ones that survived. They fear nothing. Millennials, we were the first ones that had these programs in schools in place telling us that all the dangerous things we saw our older siblings doing were bad. As a result, many of the weak ones of us lived on. I'm a direct proof of that. So all I'm saying is just be careful. They're going to act like they don't care. But so do serial killers. And to any Gen X seeing this, know that I am saying this out of deep respect and also deep fear. Please do not come after me.
Don't go toe to toe with a Gen Xer.
Isn't that great? I thought that was great.
What do they say? Bitches get stitches and left in ditches.
Is that what they say?
Yes.
Yeah, wake up a couple hours later, go back home.
So here,
I'll tell you what, if I wasn't in on my curfew, my mom would have a newspaper rolled up ready to beat my ass with it.
I'll throw that into all the different places that we are. I'm streaming on 3 places. We're on YouTube, we're on Rumble, and we are on Rockfin. And I appreciate everybody that's over on the other ones. And please, if you haven't already signed up free for my Rumble, do that soon, because I do want to do a live stream over there, and it would just be Rumble, because there's things, like I said, I can't show and talk about, and it's just a nice way of thanking people for supporting and helping. And so
you're sure that Rumble won't do anything? We'll allow it.
I have no idea.
I don't know until we know, and then it's really
We'll find out. Yeah. I mean, as Jen, she was. I still say this: you were the fastest person on and off D Live in history. She did like one show and gone.
Well,
so
the D Live thing was right on the cusp of whatever happened at Capitol Hill on that January. When those people invaded that building, and I kind of wound up getting like roped into all that somehow because I speak too much truth.
Well, here's what I do know: she was talking about people's feet and how they're set up, and that was all they needed. They were done,
right?
With it.
And then it's oh baby.
Great. And hey, Patrick, thank you. We got another member, and anybody that's signed up as a member, I appreciate it very much. It does help me quite a bit. And so I've actually started making some videos that I'm only posting either on Rumble, Rockfish, or members. They're just music videos and things so far, but I'm just trying to give back too on that. So thank you. Good to see you, Patrick.
Yeah, I do the same, but on BitChute. But the BitChute now is linked to YouTube, so all my YouTube go right away on BitChute now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good, Chapu.
Yeah.
Good, because before it took forever to upload the stuff.
Yeah, they didn't do the link up, but
Yeah,
now
now
they
do.
did. So
Oh, I'm gonna have to dust off my BitChute and see if it's still working.
Yeah, mine is still going over there. I haven't looked at it in forever. So yeah.
So could you put me on big screen for just a minute?
Absolutely. I know what button that is now. It's this one.
Jamie
Ooh,
ordered
baby.
a shirt recently, and it's about to go out to her. And she got the
Oh.
Melty font, which is Meltology 101. It's a really nice tank top, as you can see. It's nice and light
nice
and loose fitting. And she got the drippy font, so it looks really good. And I'm gonna be mad.
Boom, baby.
Tomorrow, hopefully, if I get there before it closes.
That's excellent. Okay, let's see. There.
Yeah.
I figured this out. 4 years of live streams, and I might be able to do it. So at least I got the
It
Rumble.
was so simple this whole time.
Sure. And then I do want to do a shout out to a new fan of mine that has a Rumble stream. What is it? Tony Punch. And I haven't checked out your channel, but thank you for saying hi and letting me know. And the usual people, Heather over on Rockfin, I appreciate you very much. And everyone else that is doing things throughout the week, thank you greatly. It means a lot. Okay. So I wanted to go over Chrimera, or Chrimera, however you say it. Chimera.
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 I know.
Chimera.
Chimera.
However you say
Chimera.
it.
Where is China? Does anybody know where China is? Really?
I did a whole stream with
Dave.
Trinity 4, Dave.
Me, you, Trinity 4, and I forget, was Shapu with us?
No, Steve, I guess.
Steve was us. Remember that?
Yeah, and about how you can't get there, like you can't just drive there
walk
without
into
having,
China. No.
Yeah. They stop you. You have to get access in through the government. He said there's a train that takes you, but then it stops, and a crane lifts it up and puts it on a separate track. And
yeah.
so,
and then you're off, and they blindfold you too, so you really don't know which direction you're going.
Right, kind of like when you showed up at my house.
Right.
I still have that somewhere on my channel. That was funny.
Oh my gosh, that was
a bag on.
Crazy plane trip that was. My plane was delayed forever.
So okay, but I do want to talk about these animals because there's a few things. There's things in the Bible and other books, and then we'll go over the news stories and stuff that kind of connect Days of Noah stuff. And then Jen sent me some stuff about medieval times that I'll put it up and you can go over. And of course,
I got some live dog man audio that I'm going to share with you guys.
And there's new people that haven't heard your live dog man.
Yeah.
We're here for that.
They're going to go nuts. Put your headphones in, guys, for that one.
Yes, because it's some good times with the dog man. So let's see. What am I looking for here? Let me start with so let's see, where are we at? Let me go back.
Happy birthday, Juan. Juan's going to be 49 years young tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, baby.
Birthday. I got one of those. Where is it? Here.
Boom, baby.
That's right.
Okay. So we'll go back over here.
Don't be surprised if there's a Moai with a birthday cake out front your door tomorrow.
Yeah, right? Moai.
Going to try to move his way in.
Okay, so obviously on my continuing discussion, and my labels, as we've all discussed, have grown, and they include being a pigeon agnostic and being panda sus. And
Brian in the chat.
There's just constantly, like, there's no way this animal survives in the wild. It's impossible. I'm not buying it. So whatever these things are, some of them are humans, some are in suits, some are dogs that have been painted over. I mean, they've proven that. And then the rest are like this. So I'm thinking this is potentially a chimera, whatever you call it, if these things, whatever they are. They weren't natural. They're only in China. You can only see them in zoos where China has loaned them out and then they order them back. And they're million or billion. Look at that. That looked like a human the way he held his head. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you see that? And
They
so
can't even get up. Look at them. It's like they got
Why?
they're stuck on stupid.
So-
I don't mean to be mean, but it's kind of like this almost drunkenness to them. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And so so the thing is these definitely, they say they're only wild in China, but where's China? That whole thing we just discussed.
I've never seen one in the wild, like a giraffe. You could see like in the safari running along the plains.
You never will.
And stuff. No, you never see a panda just roaming around somewhere. Yeah.
And for those that are late to the party, they only eat one thing, eucalyptus leaves. So you would think that they've sourced out everything in their area. And in addition to that, they say that they only mate, I think, once a year, either one day or whatever a year. Like none of this sounds natural or makes sense.
No, I remember there was some kind of documentary when I was young. It's called In Search of the Panda, and they searched for a panda for years and years in China until to find one. I guess they just put one there, I guess.
Oh, right. It's because they weren't in China. They were searching for China too.
Yeah.
They made a left turn. I missed it.
Oh, your mom is in the chat, Jen.
Oh, what's up, Mama? Yeah, I sent her the link.
Nice.
That's Chris Salerno. That's my mama.
All right, so there we go. So that's
Brian.
another
Hi,
dish.
Brian.
Oh, hey, Brian, and hi, Jen's mom, and whoever's just showing up. Let's see. We'll throw one of these at you if I can find it. Here you go.
I don't feel dirty. I don't feel dirty.
You got the double. Oh, you got the that's true. You get an echo when I'm screen sharing. Oh well.
Yeah, I don't know why StreamYard's doing that now.
It does. But yeah, so that's one more video of sus of pandas that'll go in the chapter. In addition to that, how I feel about birds, and they're talking about there's potentially a new thing coming around. And so I think the only way, just like they did to us, they didn't want us passing it around. We need to put these on all the little birds out there. I think it really would be the best way to fight it.
Yeah, it would be the safest thing to do, in my opinion. And no bird should be allowed to fly in any store unless they're tested first, because I see birds flying around in Walmart all the time. It's really a sad situation.
So that's bad. So yeah. So there we go. And tell me that pigeons. I mean, I'm a pigeon agnostic. I believe they're real, but they're not the way they tell us.
They're dancing.
Yeah, he's dancing.
Oh my gosh!
Come on.
He's got his own private little pigeon right there, and he programmed them to dance.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Thank you. That's.
I see what's going on here. Pigeon sus and panda sus. We need shirts now.
Exactly. Okay. And then let's not forget about the giraffes. What the hell they are with what is this thing? It's part horse, part cheetah, part dinosaur.
Part dinosaur.
And it's chasing them right out of the freaking park.
Hit the turbo. It's right. Oh my God. Look at it. It's coming.
And so they were never heard of again.
I bet.
But isn't that something, whatever these things are? So I don't know. And then this was, I don't know how old you all were, but I just found out that owls can swim.
What?
And I'm not going to play it because it's a National Geographic video, but you can see it. It's swimming.
Dude, they don't even like getting their feathers wet. What's that all about? That's not right.
So they swim apparently now.
Oh boy.
There's that.
When you see owl babies, they're really crazy looking. They're almost as crazy looking as the pigeon babies.
So that's not something I'm familiar with. Now I am.
No.
Okay.
No
and
bueno.
So now we go again to China and the news stories. And this one was 4 years ago where they took a and for those of you who don't know, do I say it Chrimera or Chimera? I forget.
Chimera. That's what I say.
Okay. It's basically where they're mixing DNA, like as in the days of Noah that's talked about back in the Bible. And so they're supposedly doing it now. whether or not they have the capabilities, the jury's out there too. But so now they did a part pig and part monkey creature. And the reason they say they're doing this is so that they can help humans by growing organs and stuff in other animals instead of waiting for a human to die and taking their organs. And so you're taking monkey stem cells and injecting them into pig embryos and then putting that inside a pig and then making a monkey pig or something. They have pig and monkey cells. I mean, that's why I played that little thing at the beginning with the Al Gore and the man bear pig, because like we're here, supposedly, if they can do it. And so this is what they're doing. And like I said, that was 4 years ago. And now they have this one, and this one is 7 years ago. And they took pig cells and they stuck them into a human embryo and then tried to create it that way. And no bueno. And so the idea is they take a human embryo, they inject it with the pig stuff, and then they stick it back into the pig so they can make organs to put into people. But what they don't tell you is this is how they do it. This gal literally, with her mouth, sucks out these stem cells.
What?
Yeah. Right?
Wait, what?
Yeah. I don't want to play it.
She sucks it out, and then what?
She sucks out the stem cells, and then they inject it in with, somehow put it into this thing, and then they inject it in here. So
I don't even know what to say, and that's unusual for me.
Well said, Jen. That's freaking great. So,
damn it, man, what is this world doing?
Yeah. And so, once again, like I said, they're injecting. Check her feet.
You know what? You suck. Literally.
Yeah, right. So, and they're doing this, and they're, supposedly doing it to make organs for humans.
What did they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. And obviously pigs too.
Apparently.
And so then I went to this one where the human brain cells transplanted into rat brains. And they were doing this in 2022. So, I mean, whether they're able to get these to work or not, the fact that they're experimenting with it, I mean, it just is.
Do you remember that movie, Dr. Monroe's Island or something?
Yeah.
They had all those weird creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
They were doing the same thing, but these things wound up needing like a place to live. And they were all on this island.
It's funny that you mentioned that because
it reminds me of Plum Island, kind of.
Look at this. Can you see that? Oh, by the way, I'm very proud of this thumbnail I put together.
Really nice.
Yeah, we're gonna cover this. That's St. Christopher. He was the first dog man, and then of course pandas, and then pigs, and then cats. We're gonna go over cats and birds. We cover a little bit. So, anyways, I thought that was good. But here's why I brought this up. See, and they had two of them. I never saw this one. I saw the original one. So I didn't see any need to see this one. And this one was supposed to be extremely bad. And
I couldn't even make it through this movie. I saw this in the theaters.
That's funny.
Like gun to your head kind of thing.
Did you walk out? Because I have a story about I
was not into it.
So I'll tell you real quick. So if that's possible, it's not. I got a here, I'll stop this for a second. I received I didn't remember what it was for, my birthday or something. It was a gift card to go to the movies, and I hadn't been to movies in forever. We never seem to find anything we even interested in watching, but I wanted to use this gift card. So the Silent Wife and I decided we'd go out and use it. And the only movie we even thought of trying was this Fall Guy, which was made about supposedly the TV show that was, anyways. It's a stunt man that also does like bounty hunting. And so we go into the theater and we sit down to watch this thing. And here's the first thing. If you've been to a movie lately, they have assigned seats now, and a lot of times you order them in advance, or when you're at the door, you have to say, I want these two or whatever. And so we did that. Well, this movie's been out for a while, and it was whatever. We went there, and there was only 4 people in the theater, and the seats easily was over 100 seats in it. And so we looked at the chairs that we had, and we're like, well, we'll just sit here instead because this is fine. There was no one there. It was almost starting. And so a few minutes before it starts, this, I would call them a yuppie looking couple, if that's even a thing anymore. They walk in, and you can see trouble in their eyes, and they're looking at their tickets, and they're looking at seat. And I lean over to Jeannie. I go, I think we're in their seats, right? Like, it mattered though. Like, again, the entire freaking theater's empty except 4 chairs and us. And so, but I don't care. We'll move. I just wanted them to come up and ask me. But no, what do? They're good order followers. They leave.
They told on you.
They go back to the management. Now, remember, the management at this theater, I think the median age was 18. I think the oldest person there was maybe 20. Most of them were like 16 or so. You know?
Needed a middleman to negotiate this seat arrangement.
And so they come back because now they're all puffed up, ready to take us on. You know, that 16-year-old said, no, those are your seats. And he comes up to me and goes, what is your seat? Like, he couldn't even get the words out. And they go, oh, is this one of your seats? And it turns out, so if you picture it, we're sitting in 2 seats, and their 2 seats, Jeannie was sitting in one of them, but the other one was on the other side empty. So basically we were only sitting in one of their seats, but they had, so we're like, hey, no problem. We got up and we went over and sat in some other seats, but it was just like, that's where we're at. Like, they have to go exactly what the ticket said, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
I understand
like mentality.
Right? If it was a packed theater or a new movie, I get it. But this is a movie that no one wanted to see. And so why am I bringing this up? The movie was free because of the coupon, and we started watching it. And when we try to watch something at home, because I still will watch stupid movies. There's only so much YouTube and Bible and stuff. I gotta, process something else. And so we're watching, and if we watch a movie at home, we have this rule: we'll give it 30 minutes, and if we haven't, if by 30 minutes it hasn't caught us, we're done. Sometimes I don't even get that, and we'll give them 1 episode. I figure that's fair. So we're sitting in this movie, and it's been going on for over half an hour easily, maybe 45 minutes. And Jeannie makes this joke. She's done it before at movies that I wanted to see. And she turns to me, she goes, well, should we go? And this time I looked at her, I said, yeah, let's go. And she just like almost fell over. She's like, really? I go, yeah, this is so bad. I don't know if anybody's listening that liked it. It was so bad. We left. I mean, he gets into a fight scene where he's on some kind of MDA drug, whatever you call it, and he sparkles or whatever words he's punching. And at one point, he takes a cork of a champagne bottle and flicks it at the guy's head, and the guy falls backwards. I'm like, what are we doing here? This makes no sense.
Movies are so ridiculous at these last 5 years, even. They're just nothing.
So we got up and left, and we had a better time not sitting through the other 2 hours or whatever was going to go on.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's my movie experience that we did walk out.
I heard he cried a lot in that movie. Like he's demasculating.
Yeah, that's, what he did? He's in this like 10-minute relationship with this woman, and then they have time apart. And when he sees her again and they're no longer in contact, he goes and he sits in his car and he starts sobbing. And she comes and taps on the window, and he's got to wipe his face with his shirt and everything. I swear his mascara was running. It was one of the Ryans. I forget which one.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Like you said, they're demasculating. That role was it was Lee Majors in the TV show. He was badass.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sit in a car and cry.
I used to watch that show when I was little. With Wonder Woman, or no, the Bionic Woman.
Yeah, love that. Yeah.
You can hear all the conversation.
Well, she had the ear and he had the eye, right?
He had the eye, and then he had the arm. He could lift a car, pull the bars apart, save people.
Yeah.
And
but he always had to save her.
No, he ran super fast, didn't he?
They both did. They both have the legs and one arm, and then he had an eye and she had an ear. And I
had a Bionic Woman Barbie doll, and a Farrah Fawcett Barbie doll too. And she was the first one to have her hands move around and stuff. It was really cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. This is before I knew Farrah was, feral,
All right, here we go.
all
Like their feet, right, Jen? I get it.
Boom, baby.
Okay, all right. So we got way off topic here. You were talking about Dr. Monroe, Monroe, and so I'll go back to that. And so, like I said, I never saw the new one. I just saw the old one, which was enough. And
Lee Majors, he was hot back in the day. I don't know what he looks like now.
Through DNA experimentation, Dr. Monroe has upset the balance of nature by turning animals into humans. He's turned heaven into hell.
Boom, baby. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. And so they've been they've been showing us this stuff forever. And here's this pig creature. And the reason I'll discuss this more in a minute about the pigs, but they had this guy, which is sort of a Baphomet character, right?
Yeah,
and this guy's the guy that creates all these nightmares. He's the one that put it all together. He did the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and the ghost or zombies on Thriller and Aliens, and of course my favorite, Kilroy, for the Styx album. So and this was probably the scariest monster of the movie, was what Marlon Brando looked like.
Yeah.
and this I thought was funny, because when I saw this picture of, he must have like a mini-me creature. And this came out in 96 and this came out in 99. So you tell me.
Yeah.
In the same head thing. So that's there you go.
Shite right there.
Yeah. So anyways, and this, but
there you go.
I think this one's AI, but created, but still, it's that's probably exact. You can look it up. There's a CIA program that they had pigeons with cameras, and
their eyeballs.
Yeah, and they kept doing it.
Cameras.
Right, it's all redacted, but you can see them working on this stuff right through the 70s and stuff. So don't tell me that they're not still doing it.
Well, I sent you that post because when I saw it and I read the first comment, it was really funny, because
I don't remember what was the first comment.
I don't know if it's true or not. The guy says, "Oh, like in the 40s or 50s, the USA killed all the birds and replaced them with the robots." That was the first comment.
Yeah. Well, again, the pigeons are very sus.
Very sus.
Baby pigeons are very weird, and you can't find them anywhere, or their eggs or their nests. So just saying. It's like pandas. They exist in the wild, but no one ever sees them in the wild. So
what do you think about the cryptids today? Do you think that they are leftovers from previous, or, in the days of Noah kind of thing, maybe came out of the other side of the flood? Or do you think that this is where we're at now, and these things have been released, say, into the wild, or had escaped certain facilities and stuff? So you got the rake, you have Mothman, you have Dogman, you have Bigfoot. There's a plethora of other types of Goatman, these types of things, deer-headed man, and all this stuff.
Well, what I believe now, at least to some extent, some of the creatures that we're seeing have like de-evolved. You know what I mean? So like if they're making these weird Chrimera creatures back then, now we're seeing like humans have de-evolved. We're smaller. We live less, even though they tell you that we're living longer. No. Our original bodies, we were bigger. We lived 100 years or better.
And we also only use 10% of our brain, and we have like 90% junk DNA. There's that.
Yeah. So if we're de-evolving, I think these creatures are too, the ones that were still left. Like, for instance, let me bring up, I'll go back.
Chupacabra, yeah, that's another one, Chupacabra.
But I'm saying like just even the regular kind of animals that we're seeing that we don't quite understand. Like I said, maybe the panda, but certainly I think, let's see if we go back in here. I think there's something to be said about the pigs, because once again, here's another article where they're growing organs inside a pig. So we actually match up genetically.
Yeah, with a pig, yes.
Very close to a pig.
Yeah.
And they transplant hearts, human hearts, all that stuff, pig hearts. So they've been doing this for a while.
I do like bacon now.
Yeah. And so where is it? talk about alpha talks. He did this video about swine are abomination. And I wanted to look into this because it's one of the things that you're not supposed to eat,
Right.
according to Leviticus. And I'm going to get an ad. See how that works?
Well, what's interesting too is that it's one of the things we're not supposed to eat, but it's a major part of our diet. Like for breakfast, you have bacon, sausage. You also have the lunch meats as well. The the pork chop steaks and stuff like that. But for breakfast, you always have breakfast sausage. You have bacon. It's always incorporated into like your first meal and stuff.
Yeah, and so why does God say? He says it's an abomination,
which means it's probably not natural. Which is
right. Well, but also here's the thing: of all the animals talked about in the Bible, only one did Jesus feel it was okay to send demons into. In fact, the demons requested to go into the pigs. So I'm thinking a couple of things about this idea. If pigs can demons can enter in a pig so easily, in fact, they asked it to be, there's something up with these animals. There may be some kind of weird hybrid animal that was created, and now they're like, some kind of human DNA in them, like we're doing now. I think they were doing back then, because you can look it up. If you take a domesticated pig and you throw it into a forest, I think it's within a year or 6 months even, it will grow into a wild boar. It'll get the tusks, it'll get the thick hair, and it'll change.
Huh.
I don't know of any other animal that you throw a dog in, it'll be feral, but it won't change its look. It won't grow thick hair. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's some really sus things about pigs. In addition to that, if there is some kind of human connection to it, that's why I would think God would say it's an abomination, because that's a really stern word that God is using there. It's an abomination. The eyes are similar. There's so many structures that are similar to us and a pig. And and like I said, they want to keep using pigs to create organs for humans. So I don't know what the connection is here, but what I'm thinking is if these creatures have some type of human DNA connected to them, that's why God would say it's an abomination.
Yeah.
And long pig, which is used in the Pacific Islands, it's a translation for human flesh as food. So there's that.
No bueno. Oh boy. Right? Wow.
Right? This is all Alpha Talks video. And then this gal, she talks about how it's unclean, and because the muscle tissue is identical to humans, and eating that would be similar to a form of cannibalism.
Damn it, man! I love bacon, especially.
And why do you think it tastes so amazing? Yeah, and I'm with you. I've gone back and forth on this. I'm not going to be a guy that'll ever say if you eat this or do this, you're going to go to hell. No, I don't believe that. What God tells you is he tells you not to eat these things. And I think it's because it's not good for you if you're eating these things. And so he's just like a good parent trying to say, don't eat that. And
it's definitely not something that I incorporate into my diet on the daily. However, if I go out to breakfast or whatever, I'll be ordering like crispy bacon on the side. I never order sausage. I stopped eating hot dogs. Once in a while, a hot dog is good, like on the grill or something if you're at somebody's house, but it's not something like it used to be when I was younger, where pork was a daily part of our diet, like hot dogs, the pork sausage, the baby back ribs, all this stuff.
But here's the thing. The reason I'm really on board with this being really bad is they put it in everything. Things you don't even think is in.
How is it in toothpaste?
Apparently there's like whatever the kind of fat or something. There's something that they use.
Wow. See that, guys? Oh, it's in Doritos, man. No wonder I like Doritos.
Right?
Collagen from the porks, yeah.
Gummy bears.
Make the jelly. Make the jelly, yeah.
I mean, if God was sitting here right now and he'd look at this, he goes, well, I don't see food there at all. But you know what I mean? But for our food, it's in everything. So I think it's just another way of forcing us to eat something we're not
Well,
supposed
they
to.
get us to do the most foul, unclean things that they do because they worship Lucifer, who is the most foul and most unclean. And they want us to do it under a deception, though, which is their role to play. They want to be the great deceiver, like their God is the great deceiver. They deceive the whole world, and they deceive us into eating this stuff, which means they're deceiving you out of your own free will, because if you knew better, you would not choose this.
And so once again, I will repeat this. Everyone do their own. You do you, I'll do me kind of thing. Try to do your best to eat healthy, but that means we all have something. Every one of us. Everyone! Eat or drink or smoke or whatever, something that maybe is not the best. So in moderation and for me, I think now I'm pretty I'm on the side of I'm not doing pork anymore. I'll go back to we did it before. Turkey bacon is good, and there's other things you can eat if you have to have that fix. But you know, I used to say, well, I'm sure God won't get too mad at me if I have this, you know, but now I'm thinking, no, it's not a matter of him getting mad at you. He's like, I told you not to eat that. It's not good for you. So whatever happens to us when we eat these unclean foods, it affects our system in ways we might not even know.
Yep.
And so all I can say is, and again,
days later, even when you've forgotten about that meal. Yes.
And so I'm not going to have anybody, don't get upset over food and stuff. Don't fight in the chats. Eat what you feel is right. I'm just presenting this information because for me, that really solidified it. When God calls it an abomination, I'm going to listen to that. You know, he didn't just say, don't eat, it's not so good for you. He got really specific. And so when you compare with science saying everything is equal, and then you've got that other thing where they say it's, you know, human flesh with whatever. I'm all set, as Steve would say.
Well, also when you wind up having heart disease and clogged arteries and stuff, this is one of the types of things that they tell you to change in your diet is eating these types of foods and stuff. So it contributed to you getting that way, to having clogged arteries and heart disease and all these other problems that you have in your life.
And what I find is our system is amazing and it can cleanse itself. It's just garbage in, garbage out. If we keep feeding ourselves things that our body has to attack and fight, it can't get to the core problem of the stuff that's already backed up.
Exactly. So, especially when it's an ongoing process where you're constantly feeding it. You're not giving your body even that break in between those kind of meals to where it can, you know, try to get it out and work through it and whatever. It's still bombarded with these types of toxins and foods that we shouldn't be eating. And, you know, we can't say God didn't warn us. He's warning us, you know. You know, it's up to you if you let the information in.
Yeah, if you overindulge every day on food, you know, like you said, your body cannot like process everything, and it just stores it everywhere, and it puts it somewhere where it won't be interfering with anything. So that's where you get sick. And
and also I'd like to mention, I'm not a doctor or a dietitian, but your body does take 12 hours to process one meal. And they have us on the food pyramid within 12 hours having us eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with what they have in each category, which is the milks and the dairies and you know, proteins and stuff and vegetables and whatnot. But your body takes 12 hours to process one meal, and they have you eating 3 meals within those 12 hours. They have people brainwashed into it. Even when you go to school, you have, you know, you got to eat breakfast before you go to school, and then you have the lunch break, and then you go home, and then you do your homework, and then there's dinner, and then there's snacking in between. So within that 12-hour period, your body is getting layer upon layer upon layer of food piled on top in your stomach. And each layer of food gets a coating over it. And then your body's got to process each layer of food. If you ever noticed, not that you want to talk about it, but when you throw up the most recent thing that you've eaten, and then each layer beyond that, that's how it works. Once you know your body and understand how it works and processes foods, or what we call food today, which is actually poison, in my opinion, you'll realize that your body is getting that toxic environment through it, because your arteries are strained. All this stuff is piling up and clogging up. You're winding up with pounds of undigested meat in your colon. over years, people wind up with these huge bellies and a lot of gas going on inside them and stuff. It's really a sad state of affairs what they have heaped onto us as a type of knowledge for the types of food you should be eating and when you should be eating these foods. And then, of course, they package it with these pretty commercials and all this stuff. And then you have the doctors come in on the back end of things with their commercials with all their pills and all their side effects to fix you from all this stuff that you've just eaten.
Well, and this is, again, follow your doctor, your government, and all the 3-letter companies. We're discussing ourselves as experiments, just so you know.
Jen said it very well. Just know your body, you know, because not everyone has the same processing of food for everyone. Because I know that my body really processes really fast, so I need maybe to eat a little more than some others, you know. But
yeah, everybody has different metabolism rates, and also people slow down their metabolism by the toxic foods that they're eating that your body takes so long to process. And if most of that food is filled with sugar and then it's processed sugar, well, then you're going to have insulin issues and hormonal issues along the way as well. And then as you move through, if you're a woman, if you move through your life and you head into, say, menopause, where your hormones are all kinds of crazy, and then you're still eating the same diet as well, there's a whole plethora of things that we can go through here to try to sort all that out. But at the end of the day, you really need to look at your food differently. You're eating.
Yeah, and that is a thing. You know, I found, again, personally, I'm just doing my own experimentation. Don't listen to me if you're watching at home, YouTube people. Is that I don't need to eat that 3 meal a day like I was brainwashed to do. And in fact, when you do an intermittent fast, you can do a fast. You don't have to like make a whole big deal of it and have it go for days and, you know, drink water and go, oh, you know, it's like, no, you can do it like when you go to bed the night before, and then let's say you don't eat until that following night. Just about anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Again, check with your doctor, make sure it's safe, but anybody can do that. And really, you're not going to have a, you know, I don't have an issue with it. And in addition to that, one of the passages that's no longer in the Bible, that's being taken out of a lot of the versions other than the KJV, is a passage where Jesus says there are certain devils or demons, whatever, that can only come out through fast and prayer. And so with that line being gone, people don't know that is something you can do. Because when we're of the flesh and we're of the spirit. And if you're feeding the spirit and you're not feeding the flesh, then that makes it even more of an experience for you. Because now you're doing
pray over your food before you eat it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not just to give thanks for it, but to know, not just pray over your food. I'll be like, I'm going to eat this Big Mac from McDonald's and pray over my food and it won't hurt me. That's not what we're talking about here, guys. You need to understand what McDonald's is all about. You know, you need to really do your research and look at food differently, and then know your body and understand where you're at in life with your body. And also, it's generational. I grew up on the foods that my mother cooked me, and then I cooked for my children as well. You know, it was a long time before I woke up to the fact of the whole food situation. And it really has an impact. Even the products that we use, the deodorants that, you know, your mother used, you might wind up using, and then, you know, your family, your daughter might wind up using the same deodorant, and then you're all wondering why we have generational C in our family. I'm not going to say the words, I don't want to get in trouble, but you know what I mean. It has to do with your breasts. These types of things, and the doctor doesn't tell you when you go to him, you know, well, you have this cancer now. You know, they don't tell you how you got it, but they tell you what you got to do to get rid of it and how much it's going to cost, but they never tell you how you got this stuff.
Well, all the products now on the labels, it'll tell you that there's a chance you might get something from this, but it's such tiny writing, and you know, the commercials are pretty and nobody thinks about it, you know. Just like we've talked about toothpaste, where it says call a poison control if you swallow it, and don't give it to kids, and it's called Crest for kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Once I learned about fluoride, I stopped using fluoridated toothpaste. Okay. And if I still had children living at home with me, they would not be using fluoridated toothpaste as well, which my children, who are grown men now, know about this, and they use non-fluoridated toothpaste.
You know what's funny? My wife makes all this stuff. She's now making her own makeup. It's wild what she's getting into. But she makes a tooth powder that we use. And I mean, it's been the best in my life, you know, compared to the stuff I used to use the store-bought stuff. So
is she incorporating any coconut oil into that type of paste? Because I think that would be really good to have in the paste, since the coconut oil pulling thing that we had talked about before, to have that already in there would be amazing as well.
Yeah, no, it's not in that, but yeah, and again, I'm experimenting myself, but I had an issue where I had a sore tooth, and I did that oil pulling where you just take coconut oil and you swirl it around your mouth for like 30 minutes, and you do it, every day or multiple times.
Or spit it out. It's up to you.
Oh no, I spit it out. I don't recommend you swallow it, because whatever it's pulling out, I want to get rid of it. And you spit it out, and for me, it cured my thing. Now, everyone do their own, talk to your doctor, research it yourself, because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But for me, that's what works, and I would check into that, what this crazy person did. So just like if you get cramps, those really bad cramps, they tell you like pickle juice, you can take a pinch of salt, again, check with your doctor, and throw it under your tongue, and swallow that, and within minutes, for me, they vanish. So anybody that's having that kind of leg cramp thing, you could do that. So, and so there's a lot of good information out there.
Cloves for tooth pain as well, and also vanilla extract works really good on tooth pain. I always carry a thing of vanilla extract in my purse with me anywhere I go in case a toothache ever arises. I'm just ready to go.
And Melanie, this is pretty much what Jeannie makes for our salt, for our tooth powder. So, it's a bit messy in the sink, but you can clean it out. But that's been doing great for us.
And of course, distilled water as well, incorporated into all this stuff, or just on its own, and organic coconut oil. If you take like a spoonful of it each day and ingest it, just swallow it down, it keeps the internals of your body lubricated, so you don't hurt and ache when you move around and do stuff. And usually the things that they have us eating is like drying us up on the inside. It's taking away all of our joint lubrication and stuff.
And Olive's correct on this. Make sure you spit it in the garbage or somewhere, because it'll congeal and then clog all your pipes.
Yeah, you don't want to put it down a sink or anything like that. It's just like any kind of oil, right?
I had teeth once and hair. That's fantastic.
Better Than Gold asked where we learned this. Years and years of research. That's all I can say.
All right, but first we have to stop the show because Tom showed up.
I don't feel dirty.
You can't sneak in when I'm looking at the chat. You just can't do it.
Okay, Spellbreaker is saying distilled water leaches minerals versus sea salt water. Plasma adds minerals. I have this to say to you, Spellbreaker. Only minerals that our body needs to have inside it is organic minerals from fruits and vegetables. Any other minerals are inorganic, and our body has to expel them. And distilled water, it's pure H2O. Distilling is just a process to get it to be pure H2O. And when it goes into your body, it pulls out any inorganic minerals, will attach to those water molecules, and you'll get rid of them. And I have a link here with 24 doctors that speak out about distilled water, the truth about it. It won't kill you, but it will kill your doctor's business. I'm 54 years old. I've been drinking distilled water for at least 20 years now. So there's that.
And I'm not just repeating stuff. She's not just repeating what doctors said, but what she experienced by living it and drinking it. So
I don't have a dog in the water fight because I'm on a well water, but where do we learn this? It's like you said, just from years of experience. We started doing these streams and then started waking up not to just the lies of the news and stuff, but we started reading products. And it's shocking when you start. And I started just doing shows where I'd say, look, if you can't say the word out loud or understand what it means, it's probably something you should try not to eat, because they have these, sometimes they incorporate numbers with the letters and stuff and all these different, like you had even your, the gum you show on your video, like that aspartame and stuff. Mm-hmm. These are all bad things that they once told us that were good, and now they tell us it's bad. So basically, if it's not natural for me, butter, salt, milk, cheese, just natural foods that without all the different numbers and letters and stuff. And if it's not natural, say like a carrot or an orange, anything else that's orange color, it's a bad thing they put in it to get there. That's why Doritos and Cheetos taste so amazing. But just know that the more, like Shifu was saying, the more chemicals we're putting in, the harder it is for our body to clean. So, okay, let's get back on Chrimera, however you say that. Okay. It's so easy to get off on, especially food. And everyone's very opinionated on food. So everyone
Well, I mean, who doesn't love food, right?
right? And so here, I saw this movie when I was a kid. I think it had Rosie Greer in it, where they were doing a head transplant. And they honestly, this is what they say they're working up towards with all these experimentations with the pigs and all that. And they're gonna, where is it? They're gonna take the head off of one body and stick it on another. Where'd they get
They
the
made
other
a movie about this a long time ago in the 70s. I remember.
Yeah, I think that was the one with Rosie Greer, the man with two heads, and he got two heads. Yeah. God, it was a funny movie. It was so ridiculous. But yeah, so that's what they say. But again, to me, these conversations and these articles, it's like they told us that we would be having flying cars by now, or we'd be going to Mars or going back to the moon. They just throw it out there and they'll never do it. But they just keep you thinking that it's coming, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. So here, this is what got me really going on this. I've been reading the book of Jasher, and I got to this part, Jasher 3, and I think it's chapter 36. And he gets to this where it says, "And there is a day that brought him to one of the deserts on the seashore, opposite the wilderness of the people. And while he was feeding them, behold, a heavy storm came from the other side of the sea and rested on the asses that were feeding there, and they all stood still. And afterward, about 120 great and terrible animals came out from the wilderness at the other side of the sea, and they all came to the place where the asses were, and they placed themselves.
And they all.
Let's see. And they placed themselves there. It's so hard to get it without going past where I want to go. Let me try. Let's see. 31 here, 32. And those animals from the middle downward were in the shape of children of men. So they were, people. And from the middle upward, they had the likeness of bears. Some had kippas, which you can search all you want on the internet and never actually find what a kippa really is. There's a lot of, subjecture and theories. But in any case, they had tails behind them from between their shoulders, reaching down to the earth, like the tails of the Duchipath, which again, nobody knows what that is. And these animals came in
a song, the Duchipath.
Is it? These animals came and mounted and rode upon the asses. So they're riding these donkeys and led them away. And they went away unto this day. And one of these animals approached Anna, this is the guy that was seeing it, and smote him with his tail and then fled from that place. And when he saw this, he was exceedingly afraid and he fled. And when they went back, they were gone, these animals. Let's see if it says it. I missed it. It's one of these right here. But in any case, he goes back and they're gone. Yeah, here we go. He told his sons and brothers all he had happened to him, and many men went to seek them, the asses, but could not find them. And his brothers went no more to that place, for they were greatly afraid of their lives. So whatever creature is that he saw that hit him with his tail scared the crap out of him, and they wouldn't go back. And this is supposedly, this is an ancient thing that who knows if this is kind of the idea behind them, because this doesn't have the tail coming out. Maybe it does up here. But what I immediately think about, and others have talked about, is the kangaroo. And so if the kangaroo, it's obviously doesn't have all the things that are talked about. But what if, like I said, if we're de-evolving, maybe whatever chimera creature this was, now it's turning into this, or maybe these are the ones that didn't take or something. I don't know. But there's some weird stuff about kangaroos. Let me see. Did I have it in here? Let me bring that up. I thought I had it on this. Hang on a second. Clickety click. Go over here. On downloads. Oh, it's here. Okay. Let's see. We'll go over here.
Clickety click.
Look at a lot of clicking. I'm trying to find the thing that I'm trying to find it. It's not
Clickety
here.
click.
It is. Here it is. Check this out. I put this little thing together because kangaroos are some weird stuff, and of course, it all comes from where? Australia.
Crikey! It's news for Australians, mate. Good day. Here's your news straight from Australia. We once were a prison colony, and now we got separated into many colonies. I've lost my accent. Crikey! Those look mountainous. Oh. Wow! You'll have to learn not only to drive on the wrong side of the road, but upside down. Bonza!
Oh, that was good. I like that.
I fixed the audio on it. And wait, I was going to show you the kangaroo thing that I made, but real quick, I have to address. Okay, we did say thank you, Patrick, for being a member. Jamie, thank you. Very sweet. So lots of love right back at you with her melted strawberry, by the way.
Nice.
Somehow she got all these melted things from you, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Melanie is having us split this, so we'll all get $3.32. I will figure that out.
Thanks, Mel.
Probably. I don't know how I get it to Shampoo. It cost me like a ridiculous amount of money to mail you anything.
Forget about it.
Oh, it's nuts. So yeah, okay. But thank you everybody that is that's supporting. We really do appreciate it. Okay, so
you know, in Brazilian nuts in Brazil, they just call them nuts.
okay, so let's see. I'll do it this way. We'll try share video file. Okay, let's see. Here it is. Did it work? All right, so that's enough of that.
That's like the Rock'em Sock'em robots. Remember that?
Yeah, where are we? That's just me. That's there we go. Wow. Okay. Well, too many buttons. Wrong buttons. But yeah, isn't that something? So they fight like humans. You know, there's at least a couple videos where a guy goes to save his dog and he's like boxing him and stuff. They're just something. And so since they use,
right.
There's only one animal that I'm thinking of that uses a tail that could smite you, like it says in the book of Jasher. But obviously that doesn't have like the human complete the way they say in that book. So maybe this is like the misfit that didn't, the Island of Dr. Moreau mistake. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And we're seeing the dumbed down version of these animals. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there because that's all we can do.
If it sticks.
Yeah, I remember when in the 50s, 40s, they used to put them in rings, with the boxers, with the boxing gloves, It's crazy.
Right? And then, where is it? I thought it was on here. Yeah, I'll go back to this. Let's see. Not that one. That's this one.
Yeah, all the animals in Australia are really weird.
Right? Here it is. So they're also, the kangaroo is part of the Macropod family, otherwise known as Bigfoot. That's it.
What?
Right? I didn't say it. They did. Yeah, it's known as the Bigfoot. So another thing that puts on the coincidence shelf, right? Like Steve would say.
Right.
Something sus there. Okay. Let's see.
I just looked up the Rock'em Sock'em robot commercial, 1975.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was a funny commercial. Let's see. All right. And then, like I played earlier, there'd be dragons in those days. We've talked about it on many times on streams. Why do they have all these creatures and things on maps? It's like you hire a map maker to do this map, and he's amazing at it. And then while he's there, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna put some dragons over here and a sea creature over there and some kind of weird monster here. Like, why?
Yeah.
Were they all just drunk or high or something? It doesn't make any sense why they take the time to do, because they're very specific on some of those maps. on where the different creatures are.
Mhm.
So, and then this, of course, this comes right out of the Bible. This is where are we at? That's an easier way to do it, I guess, over here. So we're at Jeremiah 50 in the KJV. And what does he say right here? Babylon shall become a heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, and an astonishment and hissing without an inhabitant. And then he further goes, he further goes on to say, is it down here? And when it comes to Babylon, thou shalt say, O Lord, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, and that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, that shall be desolate forever. And it shall be when thou hast made an end of reading this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it, cast it in the middle of the Euphrates. And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink. Sounds like a mud flood thing. And shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah. And so again, he's talking about a destruction. He wants to tell Babylon they're going down. And I think about it. You go to the desert where all this stuff is all happening, you know, nothing grows there. Nothing lives there. It's all sand, right? However, underneath the sand, there are like all kinds of stuff, not just buildings, but there's other like plants and water and all kinds of stuff they found when they go down in some of these areas. So to me, it sounds like what's being described here, where what if Babylon, that part of it sunk down there and it's covered with sand? It's just a theory. I know we're not supposed to talk theories, only pictures, no theories.
Freya just showed up. Freya is late. I just let her know we're live. So Freya is tardy.
All right, where is she? She's over here somewhere. Okay. Here we go. No, it's not that one. This one.
I don't feel tardy. I don't feel tardy.
Damn it, man.
So we just finished that. Okay. Then this gal, she talks about how they've created these little embryos of human brain tissue, and they're not living very long, but that's what they're working on. So again, whether they actually have the capability of doing these things, just the fact that they're talking about it, you know, tells me something there.
Yeah, I don't know how hard it seems to be, because all the embryos from human animals are all exactly the same, and sperm also. So I don't know how you can mix everything, but you need a host body to grow it. You know, they do not have. I don't think they do, but they need a host.
Right. And so here's the host. They're thinking they want to put this in with, AI, some kind of robot thing. So, it's like none of these people are obviously they know they make the movies, but did anyone not see like iRobot or Matrix or Terminator? I mean, we're creating Skynet right in front of our eyes. So with ChatGPT and AI, and now putting human brains in these things. So good luck with that, as in the days of Noah. Yeah. Lab-grown brain runs the world's first living computer in Switzerland. And this
wonderful. What could go wrong?
And this story came out last week. So, yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Yikes.
It's Final Spark is the name of the company. So, yeah.
You just need a little spark, just a little one.
Yeah. Right? But this is the final spark, so that's a little terrifying. So, yeah. Anyways, what else we got here?
Final countdown.
Yeah, final spark. Building computers from living human brain tissue called organoids. They'll be living underground soon, I'm sure, whatever an
organoids living next to the slee stacks.
But see, here's the other thing. Whenever they show me cartoons, I feel the article sus. So again, it's like them saying they're going to make a, flying car or whatever. Will we ever see this? But just the fact that they're trying, the fact that they're even experimenting with human DNA and stuff It's just no bueno.
Maybe like a human have some wings so we can fly around.
Yeah.
Some butterfly wings.
Make it more chimeras, right? Okay.
No, Daphne just said they are doing this to want to live forever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought this was funny. On my feed, this came up and it was blurred and it said some people might find this offensive. So I'm like, why? And then it turns out there's nothing offensive. It's freaking hilarious.
You got first, second, third, fourth. This one only has 5 gears. You got your clutch, brake, accelerator. Here's the key. You ready?
Act like I'm new.
They said that I might find that offensive. Why? Do I think the kid's really going to drive the car? You know what I mean? That's something.
I think people enjoy being offended.
Right? All right. Okay. What's that? Okay. Let's get rid of that. Well, that was really good. Okay. And then, we can talk about giant everything, but we can't talk about giant humans. And yet, like I said, we're de-evolving. I mean, look at the size of this drawing next to the camel.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, Yeah. And then before and after, I was like, wait, I don't understand this one. Then I realized, okay, you can see how high up these railings are compared to the humans for these old Antiquitech buildings. And now, right? They say it wrong. I get Antiquitech, but Tiki-Tac buildings. And so now look at how far down they are. So again, we're getting smaller. And so I could easily see, look at this. They want us to believe that the 160-ton piece of granite was carved into a bathtub for a regular sized human to play with his rubber ducky.
Right.
I mean, so that's why I think whatever these creatures are, say like the kangaroo, the pig, or whatever, these are the dumbed down versions of the mistakes that survived from these days. Because whatever those creatures are that are written about in Jasher that terrified them, they rode off. They were humanoid, like riding on donkeys, and they went somewhere unknown. So they're potentially still around living with the Sleestacks, right?
It's reminded me of the Planet of the Apes as well, how they supposedly evolved to become a higher, but they were already doing experiments with that one monkey in the very beginning, remember?
Yeah. And they keep running those movies again. There's a whole new series of those things.
Yeah.
So, and Yoda was already a created creature back then. They've proven that Star Wars, that George Lucas, he took a lot of stuff mostly from the Bible, but other ancient texts and stuff. There's a lot of
Jewish texts.
Yeah. So, and then look at that stone. I mean, you're telling me that's a natural occurrence, but I think it's a gigantic stone. And then, of course, they're finding stuff under the ground. And anyways, so I thought that was interesting. And we covered that one. And here we go. St. Christopher, also known as what, Jen?
Dogman.
and on all these early drawings and stuff, he is part Nephilim. And I think he's funny? He comes from the land of Canaan. A Canine?
Canaan, and he's part Nephilim, which means that he would have been from the fallen angels. They did not just mate with women, but they mated with animals as well.
Yeah, and in the later depiction, they portrayed him as a giant, but human,
Yeah.
Before it was,
I think he was large too, and he had this dog head. And the story supposedly goes, because in my past life, I would, sell these medals to people, including the St. Christopher's. Probably the two most popular medals for people to buy was the Miraculous Mary, which God says don't pray to anyone but God, but in any case they had it. And this one, because he was a protector of travelers. I had no idea why he's depicted in the river with a little kid on his back, with and it's traveling. And then I read up on it and see that the story of St. Christopher goes like this, is that he was this dog-headed creature, and he hears about Jesus, and he starts looking into what he could do to help do works, the good works or whatever. And so
Spread the
what
good
they,
news.
right? Well, so what he decides he can do is someone tells him, "You're a big dude. Why don't you help people cross the river since you're so large?" And so he does. And it has a little child that has to go across. And as he's walking, it's getting harder and harder. It's almost like lead. He says, "I can barely keep the weight up of us." I think it's in this article even. In any case, the story goes is that was supposedly Jesus that showed up there.
Nice.
Basically, it sounds like he got saved and forgiven. And that's when he got the human head instead of, yeah, here we go. He meets the hermit who instructed him in the Christian faith. And Christopher says, "How can I serve as Christ?" And he says, "Well, he says fasting and prayer." And he says, "Oh, I can't do that. Because besides the strength," they said, "Why don't you assist people crossing this dangerous river?" Oops. And then he was with it for a while. Then this little child asked him across, and he's as heavy as lead, and Christopher scarcely can carry him. He gets to the other side, and he says to the child, "You have put me in the greatest danger. I do not think the whole world could have been as heavy on my shoulders as you were." And the child replies, "You had your shoulders not only the whole world, but him who made it. I am Christ your King, whom you are serving by this work." And the child vanishes. And so I don't know the story where it comes from, if it's connected and how but it's been told so many times. And then, of course, now he's a human. So if this went down, that would make sense. He got saved and he got changed he got cleansed like Jesus does. So the blood of Jesus. And so that's why these things are for the traveler, because he helped travelers cross the river. And that's supposed to, I guess, be baby Jesus. Because now when you look at it, the kid has a beard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Look at that. He's totally got a beard.
That's crazy.
Right? I always just think it was a baby. I didn't know what I was selling, So, and then you got why the lightning bolt. I don't know. But in any case. So there you go. So that's the dog man that was known as St. Christopher, and he's now human. Okay. And I have more tabs, but do you want to show your dog man? Jen had an actual what do you call it? Not a viewing, but she ran into dog man. Of course, dog man ran into her. You don't look for dog man. Dog man finds you, right?
Yeah, that's how it goes. Most people don't realize, but there is a cryptid out there called dog man, and a technical name for dog man is cynocephali. I'm going to share a screen here.
Okay, let me get in.
Wait a minute. I got to do that again. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't do the volume. Let me start that over. Here we go.
Let's see.
Got the audio on.
There are no experts.
Okay.
I
didn't do that.
That's right. So going by Wikipedia, which is what most people go by, that's the only reason I brought it up, but there's other tabs as well about cynocephali and stuff like that. Dog-headed men or cynocephali are truly curious within myth and legend, not to be confused with werewolves. The beings are literally men with dog heads. However, this is where the werewolf lore comes from because of the fact that it has a dog head. It seems to have like a human torso and dog legs with bent back legs and stuff. It says characteristics of cynocephali or cynocephalus, however you want to say it, have the head of a canid, which is a canine, typically that of a dog or jackal, which is widely attested existing in many different forms and contexts. The literal meaning of cynocephaly is dog headness. However, there is references to a human body with a dog head is implied. Such cynocephali are known in mythology and legend from many parts of the world, including ancient Egypt, India, Greece, and China. Further mentions come from medieval East and Europe in modern pop culture, popular culture, cynocephalids are also encountered as characters in books, comics, and graphic novels. Cynocephali
You picked an
generally,
article with some really fun words to say out loud.
yeah, distinguished from lycanthropy, which is werewolfism, and dog that can talk. But
And
basically,
can I throw something in here?
absolutely.
She's right. Are better than gold. Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible, because he disobeyed God and he did his thing, he got turned into an animal for a while and then turned back. So there's another example where God has done like he did with St. Christopher. So, and isn't that part of the, what do you call that? The werewolf lore?
Yeah, lycanthropy. It's all basically stems from the dog-headed men, which is from when the original fallen angels made it with humans and created giants. And they also made it with different beasts and created like the Minotaur, the dog-headed men. You have the bird man, you have goat man, and all this different stuff. These are the different animals that they had procreated with as well.
There's also Mothman, right?
Mothman. Yeah, there's a plethora of them. And here you can see in this one here, monsters, marvels, and mythical beasts, monsters of the early modern period. And you can see it's during the 1600s. If the millennial reign ended in the 1500s, I think we would definitely see things like this afterwards, of course, and before the millennial reign as well. But there's many different creatures here. Elephant Man, you have him right here. Of course, we have Batman in modern times that they've, made a hero. The Dogon, which is the fish tribe, the fish-headed men, like here, you can see them here. Sirens as well. Sirens are the women who made it with the fallen angels became sirens. But
and they're in the Bible too.
Yeah, it's in the book of Enoch here. I have it here somewhere. Let me see here. Oh, that's distilled water. Okay, so let's go over here to my dog man stuff. I have 3 different videos on it. It was 3-4 days in a row. I was catching him outside in the woods across the street from my house. I was catching the audio. I never put eyes on this thing, but this is the best audio out of all of them, and we're going to check this out. So hopefully you guys enjoy it.
And I'm gonna put the PSA, because every time we play it, everyone says the same thing. I know what coyotes sound like. Yes, they could be coyotes, but there's certain noises that come out of this that I don't ever hear my coyotes make out in the woods. And even more importantly is we get to hear Jen whisper to us. So it's fun.
So, yeah, I have coyotes around here too. I'm very familiar with what they sound like. I've been living in Alabama since 2008. So I am very familiar with coyotes, what they sound like, what their yipping and yelling sounds like, especially when they're in a pack. It's rare that they're on their own. But this is something else, guys. And here we go.
Best audio so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's right over there.
I can see it.
It's right over there. Did you hear it?
I just want to say real quick, if you have headphones, put them in and crank them all the way up. Just saying.
You've upset my dog. The dog left. You don't want to hear about Dog Man, huh?
Holy crap.
I find this so funny when you talk.
Guys, that's a dog man for sure.
Why it sounds so slow?
It's upsetting my dogs, I'll tell you that. And I don't know what a Fisher cat is for you, but
It's not a Fisher cat. I've looked up those as well. They are in my area. I know what Fisher cats sound like. I went through the gamut of every animal this could be. And these audios, this is something else. It has a huge lung capacity. It's able to hold its holler or yaller, I'd like to call it, because it's like a yell kind of howler. for a very long period of time, and it's able to vocalize on different levels as well.
Jashin says it's fake. No, she filmed this. My audience is funny.
Hear that?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Banshee. And my dogs are not
I'd like
like
to point out it's barking. Dog men bark, okay? So you hear this bark and then this huge bellow of a vocalization that comes out of this thing.
Yeah. See, like that one.
Fucking dog man.
I don't know why it's moving slow. Like it's got a slow sound to it.
But that one was like
Listen,
weirder than my
this
coyote.
one's better coming up. Here it comes. Here it comes.
That was weird.
Right?
That was weird, yeah. All my animals are upset right now. Are we smoking funny stuff? We always are. Anne's cat doesn't care. Oh, you heard it more? Yeah, isn't it creepy? It's weird.
It's creepy, yeah.
Dog imitating a rooster.
I don't think it does it.
That's right, guys. Dog men bark.
All right, let me go back one real quick. Let me close this one out real quick and go back to this other one I have real quick here. Oh, goodness.
I need some more of your glue, probably, Daryl, just so you know.
Here's a thing I did a whole thing on Cenocephaly here. What was it? 3 years ago on my old YouTube channel. But let me scroll up here just a little bit.
God, my audience is funny. You're all here, I'll take it out so I do that. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay, so here, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. All right, go back. There you are.
Let's see. So as you can see here, it's the 322, 323, 324, and then the last one, I think, so this is third night in a row here. So I'll start with this one first real quick.
And thank you, Melanie. She sent a super chat saying she can't stop laughing. This chat is hilarious. It really is. Is it a rooster having sex? I like all the ideas. It's fantastic. There's some weird creatures out there, Jamie.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it when I heard this thing. I was like, what is this? My mom was freaking out. She's freaking out. She heard it in her room with the windows closed.
Oh, my goodness. How y'all doing over on Rumble? I see some 12 people still over there, including Dennis and Tusis.
Dog man is in those woods right there.
Should have kept going and go in there and found him.
Come on, what are you nuts?
No, you don't go looking for dog man. Yeah.
You heard it, right?
I did.
Heard it.
I heard it. Is that it? I think that's it. Is there any more?
Yeah, it's coming.
Oh, it is.
Hang on. My neighbors like this one on out back at their house. They heard something.
Somebody walking back there.
Yeah, and you're right. Thunderbird is a thing the Native Americans have all kinds of things, especially out in this area in the Northwest. So maybe that was the pterodactyl you saw. Maybe you saw a thunderbird.
Definitely. It could be.
The last time we heard it, it was over that way. It was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. I like listening to both gens.
It's right behind their house. And you heard how loud it is.
So I think that one.
I think that was it.
Hold on. Let me get to
Well,
this
that one you had was really good. That one that was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of went from a coyote sound to like a scream.
A human sound, like a vocalization of a human. Yeah.
And I don't know what lives in the woods out here, but we've heard that woman scream that they talk about that Bigfoot does.
Oh yeah, that's no bueno.
And one time we were having, a lot of our children were over having a party, and we were outside. It was a nice day outside, and we heard this scream, and it stopped everyone from talking at that moment. And even my children that don't buy into any of the stuff I talk about, they didn't know what the heck that was. Then, of course, they wanted to mount up a party and go out there. And, I said, no, that's what Bigfoot wants you to do. It makes that noise, so you go out there on his territory. No bueno.
Well, they say that the dogmen do that too. They mimic a child crying or a woman screaming. And I have heard the woman screaming. As a matter of fact, before I ever recorded any of this dogman stuff, a year prior to that, I had heard the woman screaming off in the woods, and it sounded like an 80-year-old woman with a really raspy voice, but she was screaming like bloody murder. And it was so creepy. My neighbor heard it too, and then a neighbor down the street had heard it as well. And then prior to that, I had spoke to my neighbor, God rest her soul, she passed away now. But when I first moved in here, she told me about she could hear something really heavy walking up to her window, and this big heavy breathing, and then she could hear it move away because it was so big and heavy. Like, she didn't know what it was, but she had heard it. And I'm like, oh, that's really weird. So when I started encountering and hearing all this different stuff and then researching Dogman and all this stuff, it's like it all started clicking in my head. Like, what's going on here? Is there one in my area, or is there more than one in my area? I don't know, but.
And the other thing is when we started doing all these streams and talking to other people, there were people that said they were experts on Bigfoot. And they told you could go out and make friends with them and stuff. So we thought we'd do that. My wife made some really nice oatmeal raisin cookies, and we went to the area that we know that we've heard them and so forth. And and I don't know if I still have a little thing. I put them out there, and I put a little Bigfoot statue thing that I had next to it. I didn't know if that would irritate him or not. And then, of course, I don't know. And I had it under a thing, so it's not like it just an animal came by and ate it. Something had to, lift up the top to get to it. And something did eat him. And shortly after that, we started getting visited by weird stuff. There was a tree branch that had been stripped of all its bark, and it was stuck into the ground about a good, I don't know, say 10 inches into the ground at an angle on one area of our property. And then we found this giant pine cone that I looked into it, and it's not native. It's from it's like Californian kind of pine cone or whatever. It was weird, and a few other things. And then I started doing more research and realizing, no, that's no bueno. You don't want them coming closer to you. You don't want to invite them like vampires into your life. Right. And so I rebuked all that. And look, they stay where they are. I'll stay where I am. And because we went in one time, we were out there in the woods with the dogs, and all of a sudden Jeannie and I heard a low guttural growl. And it was really loud. And the weird thing was, we looked at each other and we looked at the dogs, and dogs usually can smell and hear and see things that we can't even come. They didn't react at all. They didn't hear it.
Wow.
And so we looked at each other and we just started walking back to our house, but not running. We didn't want to get a thing. But there was something out there that growled.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting, though? You would expect the dogs of any creature to hear that, right? Now, I had something like that similar happen to me. And it was just up the trail here. I walked up the trail. My cat was up there. I was like, oh, Bella Kitty, right? Because I was kind of looking for him. And it's not that far of a trail in my woods here. And all of a sudden, in this ear, I heard a low guttural growl, and it was daylight. I looked around. There was nothing. Okay. There's houses all around my woods and stuff, not too far away. I scooped up my cat and just ran in the fucking house.
So you heard the same noise.
I don't know if I heard it in my head. It was in this ear, and I could still hear it in my head right now, but there was nothing there. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does this mean? Whoops. Shampoo knows. You know what?
Know what?
He knows a lot. That's all I can say.
You'd be surprised what he knows.
He knows a lot. So, okay. All right. Now where are we at? So,
all right. So no, it's not a fox either. I looked up all the animals around here. I have heard fisher cats. I do know what they sound like. I've gone through the gamut of things it could be. I appreciate everybody putting out their suspects of who it possibly could be in the woods. But I've been down these roads, and no, I haven't heard them since. There was one time I did hear something, but I wasn't able to catch it right away, and then and it was too far off in the distance, and that was maybe like about a year and a half ago. But I'm always listening. I'm always, kind of putting my ear out there, seeing what's going on, because there are woods all around me here in where I live in Alabama. It'd be very easy for it to get down from the really deep Talladega forest into these areas where we live, because it's flanked by woods everywhere, these neighborhoods. So it could move through these neighborhoods without being seen, especially at night.
all right. So that's our dog man. And of course, let's not forget that the Pope still wears the pagan fish hat of the fish god.
Johnny Cool, go in the woods with me.
Oh, you would? Okay, good. Sweet. Okay. And then let's talk about cats. Because I've discussed cats before. There's something sus about them. And I'm now obviously a cat lover. I never used to be, but Sarah's pretty unique. And
I never saw the cat armor. That's interesting.
yeah, isn't that good? Or how about this? You'll never look at the Tesla logo the same way.
Right? That's interesting too. My pepper kitty has a little pink nose just like that.
Right? But look, they admit that they're making Chrimera cats. They admit it.
So is that what a calico cat is? Because I have a calico and she's got half black, half spotted face and patches all over.
Maybe that's what it
I
says.
don't know, because when you look at with the litter with the calicos, the boys, the males are all orange tiger striped.
Yeah.
The females are patched. So it's really interesting how that
Yeah,
happens.
it's really males that are patched. Almost all the time, it's a female.
Right.
And so here's the other thing that I've discussed on this show a few times. They're the only animal other than the reptiles that have this slit eye.
And you brought that to my attention. What was it, last week or the week before? And I'd never taken note of that. And especially when you look at the larger cats, the big cats, like the
They don't have them.
panthers and stuff, they don't have it.
Nope. It's the only feline that has it.
That is very interesting.
And the fact that they have that reptilian eye, then this showed up on my interest. There's multiple videos where they show you, hopefully I'll play a little bit of it.
Oh gosh, the cat's going.
So there's a cat at this party, and he's walking up towards the alligator or crocodile.
And they have slit eyes. Okay.
Right? But here's
They
the
go.
weird thing about it. So everyone's worried that the cat's going to get eaten. But he does this thing where let me kill the audio. He does this thing where he stops and I don't know, hypnotizes it or something until he finally gets to the point where he's he lets him know who's boss. He gets this close to him and then he goes all cat on him. So how many of us would walk that close to an alligator or crocodile? None of us. And at this cat, it's no, this is my house.
Yeah, they had to make that eye contact, that slit eye contact.
So is he talking like Harry Potter secretly to the crocodile? Because
You shall not pass.
Right? Because they share some kind of DNA. Don't forget there's the stories that if a cat lays on a child's stomach when they're sleeping, it sucks out their soul. I mean, there's some weird sussiness about the lore of cats. Here's your crocodile, your snake, and your cat. And then what about the goat?
The goat is just weird.
Right?
Just
Because
all
God
wrong.
always talks about the goat was used as sacrifice instead of the human. So there's some weird stuff. And the Baphomet is the goat. And, so I don't know. Some weird things about those animals.
And cats have 9 lives. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's that, So, and I wanted to throw this in here because they always do this. Here's an article. It specifically says, science has figured out why cats have weird slitted eyes, right?
Thank God for science.
Right? Okay. Then watch this. I'm not going to bore you with the article. You go all the way down to the bottom. And the conclusion is, let's see. Oh yeah. All the eye complexity leaves a lot of questions still open, leading some researchers to doubt the paper's conclusion. So you got this article that no one reads, but you see the title. Oh, science have figured it out. And then you get to the bottom and it's like, no, this article's garbage.
Yeah, exactly. So much are like that.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're up against. Meanwhile, you go into ancient Egypt, and Egyptians believed that cats were magical creatures capable of bringing good luck to people who housed them. To honor their pets, wealthy families dressed them in jewels and fed them treats fit for royalty. And when they died, they were mummified. And apparently they say if cats were so special, if you killed one, even by accident, you were sentenced to death. So, and then of course, don't forget, there was the deity Bastet, whatever, cat god. They had all kinds of these Egyptian gods that had weird animal faces. You know what? I'll show this real quick, but I'll go to the animals. I talked about this last week. I've never heard of, who is this? King Phoenicius or something? Yeah. I've only known of King Tut, and his headdress used to only have a snake, and now it has the whatever vulture and snake. And now this is showing up the way I remember King Tut. And I think it's a way to mess with our heads in the future to say, oh, no, these people were misremembering this one. Yeah. Because this didn't exist in my universe until just recently.
I agree.
Look, the unknown discovery. See that?
You know, why they would want to mess with your head like this is because they don't want you to know that this is a sign that you need to be looking for, because we are in the short season, that we're at the end of the short season, and that these signs are things that are preparing us to be ready for what's coming. So they don't want you to know that, and they don't want you to be prepared. So they want you to think, oh, you're just misremembering. Look, it was this meniscus over here.
Yeah, because it even says virtually unknown, the discovery of 3 intact Egyptian pharaohs rivals the King Tut. My entire life, they only talked about King Tut.
I went to see the King Tut display when I was younger at the Boston Museum when they had King Tut there.
Yeah, I saw it too, and it looked like this, not like this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would say the entire Egyptian story is virtually unknown, you know.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Now it's all garbage when we start reading it. So there she is. This one Egyptian god Bastet with the cat head, right? And holding, once again, what is it, the Ankh, and you know, who knows what this tech is.
Yeah, some tech for sure.
Head on it.
Yeah.
There's the cat-headed god. Then you've got Sekhmet, which had like a lion head, and I think this is supposed to be the sun in a snake.
Yeah.
On her head. Once again, holding the same little thing. Then, of course, you've got Anubis,
which is
another dog man, right?
Yep.
And Horus, which is
so
a
these
bird
could have
man.
been the ones that were the offspring of the fallen angels, which these would have been demigods, which the Egyptians would have revered them as gods, worship them.
Right. And that's like, I think Christopher was the same kind of idea before he got saved by Jesus. Then you've got Ra, which I found it interesting. It's almost like they got bored. It's the same guy with a different headset, right?
I did a video on the new Egyptian god that has a whole scarab on his head. I forget his name.
Yeah, I know. We got to get to that. Look at it.
Yeah. It's like, there he is.
I know.
Are you kidding me? I know all the Egyptian stuff, and I never heard of that at all. I was just like, this is crazy.
I remember doing that live with you with Steve, and we were losing our minds because it looked like someone just poorly
copied and pasted it on there. Exactly.
They poorly photoshopped a scarab beetle on there and called it good, because this guy is new. I'm sorry. I never heard of this until recently.
And why has he got a whole beetle on his head?
Yeah. I mean, like everyone else, it's an actual face.
Doesn't even make sense.
And then this guy is that. Like, come on.
This is a black beetle.
You need to up your game.
Yeah.
Your
The
copy and
Photoshop
paste.
is not good. No bueno. Then you've got this one is my favorite. I never heard of this one. Have you seen this one?
No. What is this?
It's just like a ghost with feet. It made me immediately think of this from Charlie Brown.
What the F, bro?
But
what is that thing?
I don't know.
Jed? MedJed.
Anybody else remember this one?
For fish.
God, look out! Here comes MedJed.
Yeah, I don't know what his
It's like
superpowers are.
D-Jed, but this is MedJed.
Yeah, what is his superpowers? I don't know. But look, there's more like, see, there's all
I've never seen this. This is just like some cartoon kid stuff or something.
Yeah, MedJed.
What the F, bro? That ain't right. That's all I know. That's not right.
They had.
Yeah, that's
Isn't that something?
That's
Yeah,
definitely.
there he is.
Good catch on that one.
It's I think my favorite one.
What?
Like, what's going on in here? Like, what's underneath this?
Yeah.
Is it literally just feet and a thumb? What do you call it?
Those lemmies with a sheet over them.
Right? You call it thumbtack or whatever we call those for knitting or something.
What was that thing in Fat Albert? The guy who had the thing pulled over?
Yeah, he looked through his hat. Okay, so it's a combination of Charlie Brown's ghost-looking thing, or let's see if we can find that guy.
What was that guy's name? I always wondered, why did he have his thing pulled down over him like that? Whatever it was.
Mushmouth. What great names they had on these Fat Hour kids.
Yeah,
I was right. It is Mushmouth. See how good my stupid trivia rolls?
Stuff gave me nightmares when I was little.
Let me bring this over here, and we'll put it next to these.
Thimble Man. Yeah, Laura.
Thimble. Thank you. The thimble out. That was the one. Where'd he go? Okay. So we go here.
Yeah, because all he had was the circles for the eyes, I think.
Oh, no, you'll see. His and he couldn't talk. His name was Mushmouth. Okay, let's see. So there he is.
Yeah, see?
No, I take it back. This was Mushmouth. This is Dumb Donald. Boy, they had really interesting names back then. You can't get away with this stuff anymore.
There, yeah.
Fat Albert, Dumb Donald, Mushmouth. My goodness. So yeah, nobody explained why he cut holes in his thing to look through. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it never did. There it is. And
It's
here
a
we are.
combination of Dumb Donald and
we're Fat Albert survivors.
Right, and then we end up where to go? This guy, MedJed. So there you go. If you didn't know about MedJed, you're welcome.
Not to be confused with D-Jed.
Right? Or Charlie Brown or Dumb Donald. So, okay. And then there's this weirdness. And they told me growing up that they do this head banding where they like put a really tight band or blocks of wood and stuff. Once again,
forward to your head.
Yeah. Once again, not provable. Never seen anyone actually, show you that this process happened. I think it's just another way of explaining these weird fossils that they find, rather than saying they were weird DNA reptile experiments.
Yeah.
They tell you they banded their heads.
That's right.
Like you're going to band a 1-month-old baby for 6 months.
It's in style. That's like the clinker bricks.
Exactly. It's the clinker brick of heads, of skull. Exactly. All right. So let's see. Let me clear some of these so it'll roll a little better. Although I don't want to get rid of MedJed. I just like him too much. So
that's a good one. I never even heard of that
right?
one.
You thought the bug face guy was something. Now you got the ghost with feet. Where are you, Steve? Are you listening? We got ghost with feet. I'll have to send it to him.
Steve.
Okay. Now this is something you sent me, Jen.
Yeah, these medieval creatures that we see on the maps today, like this Montebano map from 1587 has a lot of crazy creatures all over it.
Yeah. So we didn't go over this yet. You had the other one up. Yeah.
No, it's fine. You can.
So you got. So let's see. You got Hercovis, Manticore, and then of course the mermaid lores, which they still talk about, and the sirens and whatever's going on there.
Yeah,
And
there's videos on YouTube where people are on boats and they catch these sirens. Like, I don't know what's fake and what isn't these days, but some of the videos do look legit.
I would have to say if it's on video on YouTube, it's probably fake at this point. But
I mean, I've heard some stuff. I don't know. I mean, it could be, it could not be. I don't know.
But what I wanted to show was Let's see if I can make this larger. Will this work? Hang on a second, people. It's slowly bringing that one up.
Johnny Cool says it looks like a dick with feet. Okay, there, I said it. No, he's like, how do you put a rubber on a big dick? Whoosh. There he is.
There's Johnny Cool.
Medfred, whatever.
Where's my thing? Do I have anything for that? Oh, this one.
No, thank you.
Okay, so here, check this out. We'll go back into this. We'll go here and here and here. And where'd it go? I think it's this one. No, this one. For those of you that haven't been playing along, the Starbucks logo that's this, pretty little girl holding fishes. It's this type of creature that was like almost a Baphomet kind of creature, but that's its spread legs.
Yeah.
Inviting you into this, demonic whatever garbage this is. So next time you go to Starbucks and you look at that cute little logo, just know that she's holding her legs spread open.
And you know what's crazy? They line up for Starbucks around here like they're selling crack or something at that store. I mean, the lines are crazy.
I used to
go
say,
right past it, shaking my head.
Well, I joke that if my grandfather was alive today and saw that people would wait in line to buy like a $6 cup of coffee, he'd be like scratching his head.
Sucks. I had it one time. That was enough for me. And it was the only choice that I had. And I was desperate. I was like,
yeah. And they're out here. Of course, they're huge out here. They started out here and I'm not a fan of them at all, honestly. So, but, and then think about it. I just saw something, was it today, that said,
yeah, something's fishy.
They put the hot coffee in a paper cup. And normally that would absorb into the cup and be a mess. And since it doesn't, it means that the cup has been filmed with something, sprayed or whatever, with some type of most likely plastic coating.
Yeah. Like
and so once again, you think you're doing it just coffee, but you're also drinking a little bit of the seepage or whatever's in the cup. So again, you do you. If you enjoy Starbucks, just pray over it and do some other healthy things. But just remember that the logo is one of these creatures.
I have like a depiction of this creature that they supposedly caught in the.
Oh, do you have? You want me here? I'll stop this.
Yeah.
Bring this up.
Just put it on screen now.
Okay, hang on. I got to get over there. Hold on. I'm on my way.
Yeah, Jamie, it's a wax laminate they spray on the cups. Yes.
Yeah.
What that wax might be made out of, I don't know, but
right. And I have the tiger for that. Yeah, because that's Jen's favorite. Okay, there you are, Spoo. You're up.
All right.
Oh, geez, that's a nightmare.
There you go. You want to drink coffee from that? There you are.
That's the coffee lady.
Look, they're supposed like caught it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that larger here. That's what she said.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Look at that. So what's the narrative on this? Do you know?
They said they caught it in Chile, near Peru in Chile.
Wow.
Something. Yeah, it's hard to read, but there's a couple depiction of it. Look, it's eating like the cows.
Oh, geez, and it's got bird feet too.
What's interesting too is this kind of reminds me of Capricorn. Because didn't Capricorn wind up with some kind of fishtail now with the goat head?
A whole Mandela, the Capricorn goat now has a fishtail.
Yeah.
I keep going on this. Hang on a second. I just had to say this is funny. A robber robbed me of my Starbucks. I called the cop and told him I was mugged.
Yeah.
You get one of these for that. Okay, moving on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they have a full description of this.
Oh, geez, it's eating a pig.
See?
Yeah.
No
Talk
bueno.
about combining both worlds there.
Exactly.
And it can smite you with its tail. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this was closer to the description of the creatures that they ran away from on that field.
Oh, maybe. Look.
And my dog mans are about to go off soon because I think someone's home. So if it goes crazy, I'll mute. But yeah, look at that.
You know, they said they caught it. It was ravaging in the neighborhood. You know.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's true. It was in Peru in 1829.
1829. Wow.
And you come up with the articles, Shapu. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I'd add this for a couple long time. Yeah, just it's crazy thing. It's the same thing as the logo. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So understanding the logos, it's everywhere. Once you are able to decipher this stuff, you better understand where we're at and why we have all these logos, and it surrounds us. The monster drinks, all that stuff. They're telling you, pick your poison wisely because you are surrounded by them. From the clothes that we wear, the bedding that we sleep on, the dyes in the foods, even the food itself, which is not food, it's actually something else. And you need to do the research. You really need to delve in, and it's not an easy research. A lot of people love their food and they don't want to give it up, and they worship their food. Actually, it's a huge thing for them to dive into this, and most people don't want to hear about it. But your health is at stake. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Alzheimer's and dementia and all this stuff is not natural to the aging process. The aging process itself is not even natural to the way we have it in our short season, if you will. Before the industrial age, people lived longer. They were more robust. Even our animals, our cats and our dogs, get human diseases now because we process their foods the same way our foods are processed. Dogs get diabetes, cancer, heart disease, arthritis, because they're drinking the fluoridated water that you put in their bowl that you're drinking as well. So all this stuff you really need to learn about. If just one thing to research is to research what's going into your body and take back your health, in my opinion. You're muted, CFM.
That's very true.
Okay.
No, I had to because the dogs are popping off here. So, okay. What I have a few. Whoops. Let's see. This one. I clear these out. I've got. We were on the fish person. What's that one? Okay. I don't know what that is. Oh, here we go. Ogres. Which again is like some kind of almost like a pig face, isn't it? On ogres, a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, and then whatever that thing is. Pard. A spotted cat. So.
Great cheetah.
The sea monkey. This guy looks like a squid. But again, is it just like everyone's imagination going wild back then, or did they actually see some of this stuff and recorded it?
This one is crazy.
The heck is that? Monopod is a Bigfoot with one leg?
Yeah. But they found like places you see that there's only one Bigfoot, you know, on the rock. You know, there's only one. Maybe it's that guy. You know.
So they think that because that's why his name is Bigfoot instead of Big Feet, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. See, I needed the drummer for me, but yeah. All right. And then of course unicorns now appear in the Bible. To me, that's another Mandela effect. They never did.
Right. Me too. Me as well.
And also the narwhal. When I was a kid, I used to love the stories about that, narwhal, which is a whale with a big horn. Those actually exist now. So that's weird.
Yeah, I have a whole hunting book, and they show how to hunt a lot of animals, and they are unicorns in that book.
Yeah. Then you've got, let's see, what is this? I don't even understand this.
The lamb, Tartary lamb. It's supposed to be a plant that grows on top. It's probably a cotton ball, but they say it's shaped like a sheep.
Yeah, right next to the Cabbage Patch Kids, it grows.
Are you serious? So we got Cabbage Patch Kids and we've got lambs growing out of plants?
In Tartary.
Yeah, they don't say that it was alive. They say it was kind of a cotton ball that looked like a sheep or a lamb. It's really weird story. But yeah, from Tartary.
Yeah, everything. They got to throw that word on everything. right,
but it's the same logo as the Golden Fleece. I don't know if you have ever seen the
Is the same as this?
Yeah, necklace, the Golden Fleece necklace.
I'll be right back.
Okay, and then we got, what is this? The wyvern, similar to a dragon. Okay. And the Yale, antelope or goat with horns like that. Basilisk, which is a serpent. That's like even in Harry Potter. The centaur.
Yeah. But that looks like a woman centaur, this one.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, well, but it definitely has the male genitalia.
Oh,
So.
yeah, okay.
But then again, nowadays you could have both. You know how that works. Where's Jen? She left. It's a perfect time for her to be here. And then this one, you guys were talking to me, freaking me out with this one. These guys have faces in their chest, or they're like in the Yellow Submarine, right? Headless men with faces in there. That's a real creepy one. The crocata part dog. And this is a dog man, the cynocephaly. So that's what was outside Jen's house. Yeah. And then, of course, the dragon, the griffin. So, you can say everyone had a crazy imagination back in those days, or some of this shit was really going on. And to this day, even maybe, we don't know what the slee stacks are doing underground, but I'm sure it's no good. So, all right. I think we got the bizarre creatures. We're good there. Oh, that was for my scary space news, people. Do I have to play it? All right, I'll play it. I only have that one anyways. You already saw it, but here. Let's see. There.
This week in Scary Space News.
Views of Pluto throughout the years. 94, 96, 2015. That's the one where you can actually see Pluto's head on it, the dog. And then now it's all colored. So our cameras are getting better and now we can see colors. I don't know. I get so bored of doing Scary Space News because it's all the same. It's all just cartoons and lies.
Yeah.
Anyways, there you are. And lastly on these tabs was this I found interesting. We talk about in the Bible, it even says that God can make the earth shake to the point where it's like liquefied, mud flood, whatever you want to call it. And this person, they said they got this policy change in, where are they? I forget, Michigan. And it says your renewal policy is enclosed. The endorsement entitled Earth Movement Exclusion has been added to your policy, not earthquake, which covers loss caused by Earth sinking, rising, or shifting. So isn't that interesting? So that was it. Anyways. Okay. And now we're here. Here we are. Where's Jen?
And so here we are.
So, all right. How's everyone doing? We're having fun? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's pretty much.
I know we do.
Yeah, right. I think that's pretty much all the stuff that I had really about this subject. I don't know if you had anything else.
Well, someone told that they were trying to live longer, but I found a new article from Science Has Found.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
we're ready. There you go. You're up.
So, are you seeing it?
Oh God!
look what they found.
Oh, stop it!
Science. But look what it's written right here. That's so funny. It's
I'll read it. Men and other animals live longer if they're castrated, says a researcher.
Yeah, but
can I say it's probably a woman researcher? Just saying.
Yeah, I think this is what I think it's AI, but
it's probably an angry woman researcher.
She's called Kat.
Oh, come on. Her name is Kat?
Yeah.
Kat Bohannon tells Hey Festival audience, it's not known why men go through life smuggling 2 little death nuggets. Wow, this is a really angry cat, I'm saying.
Yeah, I think she doesn't like men, really, you know. I don't know.
No kidding. Castrate, you'll live longer. Guess what, Cat?
There are no experts.
But just saying this
Death
sentence
nuggets.
is
Oh,
like
that's terrible.
really.
The opposite. They bring life.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
What world are we in now?
Right? What a world. What a world. But you know what is there more to that, or is that it?
This was the golden fleece
Oh, okay.
sign, you know, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's that plant sheep thing. Yeah.
And they have this sign to show that they have won over certain people. These royals, they have this around their necks.
Ah.
But I think it's the sign that they are fleece, like Tartary, if you know.
Yeah.
If you,
Maybe.
maybe.
Yeah, it's nice. They fleece us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I have something else? No. No. This is just some cryptids.
More of those creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, more cryptids. There's a lot of different ones like this. That I don't know what type of
Good Lord.
experiments they were doing, or they just imagining.
Wow.
But
Cyclops.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Lemmy.
Yeah, we were showing one earlier. They're just so creepy, man.
They are.
Yeah, and this one. You know.
There's that Bigfoot guy. Yeah.
And these are real. This was a real family.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of those people.
Yeah, they had like a couple of children's and
the book, the Genesis. What do you call it? Yeah, it's in Genesis where Esau comes out and he was covered like this in red hair. So you know, all the way back in the Bible, they were talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. Because look, who is she? She was one of these. What you call Bigfoot woman, I guess. But she was of a saint, some kind of a saint,
covered in hair,
probably in the Bible. Yeah, don't remember her name.
The Shaggy Saint.
So I get look again.
Wow.
Yeah, depicted in Mary Magdalene, I guess.
With hair?
With hair.
Mary.
Nice.
You know, Jesus had some weird mother, I guess.
No, Mary Magdalene is not Mary.
No, yeah, that's the other Mary.
Mary Magdalene was the prostitute who he brought into the fold there.
Yeah, probably.
You know what they say, women, you can't live with them, you can't live.
Oh.
Where's he get
find this stuff?
I put them together. I find it.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's all I've got in the tank for tonight. I think we covered it pretty well. I hope the audience was entertained. And
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, right. We'll have to get that.
I have that. We have this clip, Jen, on there.
Oh, we do.
Drops, yeah.
On your show.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, we never used it from what is it called again with Russell Crowe?
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Gladiator.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think we should put a pin in this one. We've gone for close to 3 hours. I think everyone got their money's worth, and and let's do this again. It's such a treat. It's such a pleasure to be on the screen with both of you. Anytime I'm available, let me know, and I'll be there. And so,
baby.
I forgot to change my pillow. It's upside down.
Yeah, we'll have to do a show this week, Jen.
Definitely, I want to do a show this week for sure. And I would love to have you on with us, CFM, if you're available. Definitely.
Okay. If not, I will be listening and watching as always. So, all right. Well, thank you again, Chapu. I know it's late in Canada, or France, I should say. So, thank you for being here. And Jen, thank you once again for being here. And well, I'll do a little prayer, but do you want to say your line? I just love when
Absolutely. Like I always say, guys, the only thing evil needs to prevail is for good men and women to stand by and do nothing. Let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing. I love you guys, and we are out of here.
That's very true.
All right. And so please, dear Lord, watch over us and guide us through these times. Send the Holy Spirit Comforter to take care of us and our families and our loved ones, and help us through these times with joy in our hearts, and allow us to help others see the things that we're talking about, not to frighten them, but to show them the world that we live in, and to guide them as you are guiding us, so that we can all be together in the place that we're supposed to be, with you by our side. We thank you for all our blessings and the fact that we're even here together as a group, and we hope and pray that we can do this journey and join together in this fashion on many other times, so that we can bring more people into the fold to find out the truth, the way, and the light, Jesus Christ. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hallelujah.
And guard us and protect us from all evil, demonic spirits. Bind and cast them away in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, amen.
I always forget that part, but not tonight.
Deliver us from evil.
Great.
Deliver us from evil. Okay. So with that, you get, where is he? This, he says with a knife in his leg.
Class is dismissed.
And we will, God willing, be around the playground. Check out their listings on their channels. And also, if not, by next Friday, let's do this again. And thank you all for being here, and anyone that's listening to it later. We appreciate all of the support and the love, and the keep writing us and getting involved and letting us know what you want more shows to do. We'll cover that. So, okay. So that's it. Good night, Jen. Good night, Chapu. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thanks.
I'm the satellite.
$500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Satellite transfer complete.